sure. I haven't streamed in so long, I don't know if it works or anything. Let's see what we've got going on. Let's see. So, okay, it did announce my stream. I don't know if anybody's gonna make it today. Hopefully chat is actually tracking. Let me see, I do need to make sure that Restream chat is tracking both chat settings. I doubt anybody's in right now, but let's see. I'm not watching my own stream, so I can't really see if people are in it, and it's not really keeping, it doesn't really keep me abreast very well. Embedding stream, apply command spot, now analytics, Discord, filtering about, download for Windows. Interesting, I've never done that. I don't see where I can set it to include Twitch, other than that I assume it is, Kick, other than that I assume it is. I'm not really sure. I'll go to the Kick itself and just look at my own stream and see if it's live. Let's see. There are no videos. And it says I'm offline. I don't think it's actually streaming to Kick. I don't know what's going on. This may not be working. Sends creator dashboard. Oh, I can follow the link in my own Discord to see. Yeah, it says I'm live on here. It's linking to here. Let's see. Okay, I am live. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, it looks like it did successfully send that message. I don't see it popping up on the stream feed yet. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to show up because I didn't announce ahead of time. Let's see. For some reason my actual Kick channel though says that I'm offline and that there are no videos. But if I go to follow the link that it posted to my Discord, it shows that I am online. Weird. Oh wait, I'm online on Twitch. Oh, how did this... Okay, this is dumb. This is dumb. I followed the link that I have named as Kick, and it brought me to Twitch. And my Twitch is online, but my Kick is not. I thought I had switched over to Kick with the restream. Oh well. That's fine. I don't really mind streaming to Twitch instead of Kick. Now I just need to check my YouTube channel and see if that one is live. Because I forgot, and I only just realized that you do... Yeah, I do have a stream going. It's live, but... Oh, I'm playback. Now I just need to check my thing. But I need to go to... How do I check my stream? It's been too long, I don't even remember. Do I have to go to the create? Go live? Maybe it will, if I click go to go live, it'll bring me over there and let me see. Okay. Let's see, I'm currently live with this one. Okay, cool. So can I look at this one? Click on it. Stream's current bitrate is low. Oh yeah, right. I don't have as fast internet anymore. That didn't even occur to me before I started streaming. Okay. Stream settings. Okay. this live replay. Okay. Hopefully this one is working. Analytics are completely flatlined, like no one's even remotely clicked on it or anything. But it says public, it says. I don't know. Let's see. It's supposed to be a completely different name though. I don't know why it didn't update all of them like it's supposed to. So we're gonna save that real quick as a quick update, though I didn't change the description of it. I haven't streamed in forever. Okay. There we go. So then there's that. Now go over to Twitch, update that video's description, because it may also... Yeah, it's completely dumb. Did not update either of them. Restream just doesn't seem to work for that, like I thought it was. Let's see. Okay. Halo Infinite does have that mark still. Done. So if I refresh it, will it change the name? Okay. Yep. Okay. So we got that going for us. All right. Okay. It says I have 2 viewers, but I'm pretty sure those 2 viewers are myself twice because I've got the YouTube Studio open to it, and I think it's marking that as a view, but I could be wrong. And then I have the Twitch open just because I don't know. I think I can go to the creator dashboard, I think, and then that should bring me to another screen where I can see Stream Manager. Yeah, start collaborating, etc. Okay, now I can see it. Excellent. Bitrate, it says I don't know if the bitrate is going to cause problems for people watching. Yeah, see, the viewership went down by 1 as soon as I went to the Stream Manager on Twitch. So it is tracking me watching my own video through the YouTube Studio thing as a view, though, it looks like, which is strange. I didn't know that. Unless someone's here that's just not talking, but I'm pretty sure it's not the case. So we have chat. Yeah, okay, I think we're good. Anyway, I'm gonna... I like that they're showing all these screenshots, I mean these like concept arts, I mean, or fan arts, I mean, which are mostly, from what I've seen, there's a lot of Halo 1 fan arts that they included in here specifically. Hey, PTSD Machine, how's it going? How's it going? I haven't seen you guys in forever. Or well, chatted with you guys forever, I guess. But yeah. My camera, I haven't changed any of the settings, but everything is wonky, so it's completely messed everything up. So also, like, for some reason, my webcam is like hovering. I think it used to be in the corner. I'm not really sure why it's so high up. But it's also, my monitor is bigger, so if I move it down here, I should probably make it a little bit bigger too. But I'll probably also toggle it off if there's anything that is in the corner of the screen during the announcement. So yeah, let's see. How have you been, PTSD Machine? Let's see. Chat box is on, but it didn't pop up whenever you said yo. Yeah, been too long. Does this mean you're gonna stream Forge? I would like to get back into streaming Forge. I'm not currently set up at my new place yet, but I'm gonna try to, yeah, do that. And if not Forge, then I'm gonna come and look at you guys and stuff. I've been working on my own game in Unreal Engine 5, and it's nowhere near worthy of showing off or anything yet. I can show you guys some janky stuff, which will probably take forever to just load to open, but yeah. You've been alright? Awesome. It looks like there's a significant amount of delay between when my video is sending and when you see it, or whenever Restream sends me chat here, so I might switch to a better... Oh, I see, yeah, down here I can see Dope just popped up, but it's still not up there, so the delay is actually Restream sending it to OBS. Okay, I'm gonna watch down here then. I'm not gonna watch the chat up there, that's too laggy. It'll be more, I'll see what you're saying faster. Yeah, it's really junky stuff. I even, like, part of learning Unreal Engine system was I followed a tutorial on how to make Breath of the Wild's, like, magic system, and that's all still in it, and broken, because it also, I switched how the input system worked and stuff, because I wanted to make it multiplayer. The music is a little loud. Okay, the music is actually their stream, so I don't want to turn down their stream exactly, but I can turn down my own, let's see, webcam, desktop audio. I'm going to turn down the volume on the desktop audio, and then we'll be able to adjust their stream volume independently here. That would make, I think, better. Is that a little bit quieter, or is it still too loud? Yeah, no, it was loud in my own ears, so I don't know why I didn't really, I just wasn't caring, I guess. But yeah, so I did this, like, this tutorial series and built the Magnesis and Cryonis and all that stuff, and it wasn't like, the tutorial only got you like 80 to 90% of the way to being exactly like the one from the game. There's a lot of stuff missing and like imperfections, but yeah, it's pretty silent now. Okay. Oh, you know what I just realized? You know what I should do, actually? I should probably keep it closer to what I used to have it as for the setting, and actually probably should turn it down here, because then I can hear the difference. Whereas if I just do it on the stream, I can't hear the difference. So this might be better. Like that. That might be better now. He said it's pretty silent now, so I think that means it was too quiet. But we'll see. See, that's like, this is concept art from Halo 1 that someone turned into fan art, you know. Like, they've got a lot of Halo 1 fan art in this, very clearly. They have a few that are not in Halo 1, like some from Reach I've seen, but I wasn't paying attention to all of them, but, I mean, that was Halo 2 Master Chief, but still. And they've had some Halo Reach stuff in here, so I'm really hopeful that they're gonna go back to, I mean, obviously that's what everybody kind of knows already, that they're announcing a remake of Halo 1 today. But yeah. I can't wait. I'm surprised they don't have a countdown, but I assume that they're probably physically letting people in. This is what I'm expecting is happening right now. They had supposedly a giant box in the middle of HCS that no one was allowed to enter, and they probably at 1 o'clock started letting people enter that had lined up. And then now that they're in that, they're like letting people come in, sit down, and get ready for a big announcement with like a screen and stuff like that, probably. But we don't see what they're doing. We just know that at 1 they were going to start doing their announcement. Or 1 their time, 3 my time. It's actually almost 3:30 now. But yeah, so that's probably what they're doing right now. I guess I've got notifications on YouTube. Let's see. If I don't think that it's going to crash my entire computer out to open the launcher and to try to start opening my game so I can show you later. Oh wait, that's actually hiding the up-to-date chat. Let me just work it out like that. And hopefully that'll work well enough. I had to, you know, I've got the 3 monitors, I'm moving stuff around now. Let's see. Update required? Oh, OBS. I mean, Epic Games has an update, so I mean, yeah, Epic Games Launcher does anyway. Okay, so the game we're working on, I can tell you about that while we wait, is that, so what I'm trying to do is, my wife and I are trying to work together on a game where we're making we've always liked, I've always loved Legend of Zelda and action games like that. I also liked Fable, how it had the multiplayer, but I've always really hated that action games and RPGs and stuff like that, like Diablo and stuff like that, they lock you to the same screen. And I've always loved the idea of an RPG that would allow you to work together or split up, to do everything, right? So, but no one's ever, to my knowledge, I've never seen anyone make one that was still an action RPG, like Fable style or Zelda style or, whatever. They obviously have online where you can do different screens, so you can do that like, what do you call it? Like Dark Souls and stuff like that has a bit of multiplayer built into it, but it's not the same thing. So we're trying to make an actually co-op, hopefully split screen co-op, couch co-op, that's their goal, like Legend of Zelda style, or, that's why I went and found a Legend of Zelda tutorial to teach me how to do programming in the game, in Unreal Engine specifically, and because I used to do Unity, and then of course we did Forge, and so I've been trying to use trying to get used to that, and so I followed, that kind of tutorial, just thinking that would be better. You signed into your Epic Games account, good, success. And so, yeah. That's basically the premise, is and we're basing it off of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign that she had made, and that she ran for me and, all of her friends. You might remember James from chat and stuff like that all the time. He was actually in that D&D campaign, so it was it was supposed to be like a one-shot, but it ended up becoming like 6 sessions, like 6 different weeks. Is this the right account? Yes, continue. It's off screen because I don't know if it's going to pop up with any personal information while I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm hoping that it is as good as I'm describing it in the end. And one of the ways that we're going to achieve it is so one thing, like, I think I've talked about this before, but I don't know if you were in the stream or anything at the time, or if you even remember, because that was probably years ago, was that, or at least over a year ago, is that I view game mechanics as being, oh no, I clicked a button, it's now it's opening Fab, which is yeah, okay, there we go, Unreal Engine. I view video game mechanics a little bit differently. For example, people say a leveling up mechanic, experience points, and then you level up, right? To me, that is gaining new skills, right? So that's one way to gain new skills, is you level up with experience points, your stats go up, and you can gain new skills. That's all that really is. Picking up a weapon in Halo is leveling up. Sometimes it's horizontally leveling up, it's not necessarily, it's not, you don't necessarily drop like an assault rifle for a saw from Halo 4, right? To gain an exact duplicate but better, right? Sometimes it's a swap out for an empty assault rifle for a full needler, right? That's still leveling up in a way. So I view Legend of Zelda, for example, as an RPG, and you're leveling up by gaining those items. So I'm just saying all that while it loads so I can try and show you what we have so far. Oh no, dang it, I can't show you. I'm gonna have to run and go grab something to show you, because I was transferring files to my kid's computer in their bedroom, and I've got this like SD card device that you can put more than one SD card into, and I've got it plugged into their computer, and so I don't even have it on here on this computer. Yeah, dang, all of that, and I can't actually show you. But yeah. So anyway, that's the point. Is that we want to make it an RPG, or like a multiplayer action RPG. I really like the Legend of Zelda style of leveling up, which is, gaining new items. We're going to have actual, like, progression, not just Legend of Zelda style. Like, more direct, statistics stuff. But it's not going to be, but it's going to be very similar to that kind of action game. we're like puzzle solving. That's the idea with items and stuff like that. So yeah. Let's see. I might run and go grab that thing before they go live, so that I don't have to plug it in and everything afterward, because this is taking a while for them to get to it anyway. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute my mic while I'm gone, so hopefully I don't forget to unmute it afterward. Let's see, where's the mic? That little din was the that was the what do you call it, file, the folders popping up for that thing I just plugged in. Right, so if I understand correctly, different variables determine the level up a fluid system as opposed to a solid state system. Exactly. So like basically you pick up like in Legend of Zelda, you pick up like a let's say you get the, you know, you go from the Kokiri sword to the Master Sword. That's just a stat boost to your sword. It increases your range of your attacks. It increases your damage output, so you deal more damage to the same creatures, even as an adult. Like you've got, you know, you still fight the little chomping plants. I forgot what they're called. Nope, not coming to mind. They drop Deku nuts and Deku sticks in Ocarina of Time. But and basically, are they Deku Babas? That might be what they're called in Wind Waker. Anyway, the point is that that's a level, that's a stat boost, right? Is getting the new sword. But also, you gain a new ability whenever you get like the hook shot. You gain an ability whenever you get the bow. And that's just like whenever you level up and you pick a new weapon you're allowed to use in an RPG that lets you gain new weapon skills and stuff like that. So it's basically the same thing, but yeah. So we're pursuing that kind of like, it's like a physical upgrade of like acquiring an item that grants you new abilities, as opposed to a, like, I guess it's more tangible in a way, because like leveling up is like so abstract. It's like abstracted statistics of like, I can hit you better because this number goes up. And so the more physical, tangible upgrades are whenever you get a new item that just grants you something new, right? So like I said, in Halo, getting a new weapon is technically a sort of horizontal level ups most of the time, or it's like acquiring a new weapon is like sort of like changing your class almost, or leveling up, gaining a new skill, that kind of thing. It's a lot of overlap, is what I'm saying, in that area, and so experience points are basically just one way of character building and leveling up. I'm gonna move the mic because it's sort of rotated. It looked like I must have bumped it whenever I was trying to put that thing in. But let's see. So that's kind of, so like you were saying, exactly. So you got it. I'm just saying that, yeah. Let's see. I have, what is this? Discord. Okay, yeah. And I finally did see your chat message in Discord. I was really late to that, apparently, by a month. Yeah, a month and a day. Almost. No, sorry. 1 day less than a month. My math went the wrong direction. Yeah. It makes sense, yeah. So I think of, that's why whenever people say, for example, that Legend of Zelda is not an RPG, I disagree with them. It's because Legend of Zelda is an RPG. You do play the role of a character, the hero of time. It is a fantasy. It has a fantasy setting, which not all RPGs have. Obviously, that's not a staple. But the most important thing is that you're interacting with characters. You're choosing which direction you take. There's a lot of side missions where you get to pick whether or not you even do them. Sometimes you pick. Very rarely you get to pick how you accomplish a mission. In Zelda, you very rarely get that. It's more linear than that. So it's not like Fable or anything, but it is still, in my opinion, an RPG. But I still call it an action-adventure RPG because it's very much leaning into the action, genre, away from choices, away from that ability. It's very limited. Is this it? Is it starting? Or is this a... This looks like it's actually starting. Is this it? It's happening, but they're still playing audio from... Oh boy, it might open on the wrong screen. They're still playing audio from the waiting music. Is this actually it, or are they just playing a stock video footage kind of thing? I'm not really sure which. Eventually the game will open. You can see it takes a long time for initial opening for Unreal Engine, but we'll see. But yeah, so... Yeah, so I'm trying to incorporate that with multiplayer. So to me, that means since I'm talking about Zelda, in terms of Zelda games, the best example for this would probably be, for like the way that we're kind of going about it, would be A Link Between Worlds, how you acquire the items through the shop. But only in that you don't need to have all of the items on you at a given point in time. You acquire a different, unlike that one, the way you acquire items is completely different, and how you're going to acquire the items and whether or not you even get certain items is actually going to be in question. The goal is to make enough items as an action RPG where each item is unique, that players don't necessarily end up getting the same items every time they play through the game. And so that way the game feels more fresh and more original if you replay the game, but also so that the players choose which ones they're carrying and they give them to their friend, and then that makes it to where you don't, like your other player, you like choose who's carrying what, and in the end you're gonna have the what do you call it, you're gonna in the end you're gonna have more choice. It's like building your own character stats by choosing which items you decide to carry versus the other player, and it diversifies your ability to solve puzzles and stuff like that. And the idea is that like when you decide to go together versus when you split up. See, Forge has changed a lot. I don't know when you last forged, but there's a lot of new scripting nodes. I last forged, there was a Forge Hub contest, and that the one for the that new game mode that they did, that Forge Hub contest. I tried to make a map for it, and it was I made it too big. I was like, when I was making it, I was like, this is kind of a large map. I'm at the maximum number. They said it should take like 6 to 10 seconds to get from spawn to this point for this team, and then like 8 to 12 seconds for this other team or whatever. And I adhered to that, but I had it on the maximum number the whole time. I never was, you can get there within 6 seconds, or if you take a little more time, it might be 10 seconds. It was like, it was 10 seconds, it was 12 seconds, and I thought that they were just saying that's the range for what you're picking, so I figured that'd be fine. But whenever they actually tested it, they were like, yeah, no, this was actually, they disqualified it like halfway through, and I did not get anywhere close to being one of the winners of that contest. But it's pretty cool. I might boot that up too, because this is taking forever. Can I move this? Okay, good. I'm gonna move it over here, and hopefully that means when it finishes, it won't pop up on top of the announcement. But also, it probably will be done before this 6-minute timer is over, so yeah. So I know of some of those nodes, but I didn't get to play with them very much because I was mostly making a level for their game mode that was already decked out with nodes. I was trying to do certain things where I was going to make these crates that whenever you melee attack, yeah, it did suck, but it's okay. I was very disappointed, and afterward didn't continue forging, possibly because I was a little disappointed, but also because I had so many other things I had to do, and I was just not able to do it at the time. let's see. Let's open Steam. And let's see. This computer, by the way, at this point has like 32 gigs of RAM, so I should be able to run Unreal Engine, Halo, and OBS, and the stream all at once. As long as, because my internet is so slow, I can't really. This internet here is kind of crappy, and so I won't get to do that. like if I go online, I might start causing lag for the stream, which is one of the reasons why I haven't been able to stream lately. But yeah, if I boot up Halo Infinite, that is online, isn't it? Okay, restore packages. Yeah, the game closed. Dude, there's a crash. Skip restore. Let's just do all of them. Restore selected. It wasn't that Unreal Engine crashed or anything. It was that my whole computer crashed because of something that was happening at the time. Because I had it open in the background, I was doing other stuff. But yeah, so I don't think it damaged my game whenever it crashed, but it seems to have, you know, yeah. It is lagging a little. Okay, yeah, I was worried about that. I might be able to reduce the lag by intentionally telling it to slow down the bitrate, because it's probably still trying to get the bitrate I used to get when we had gigabyte internet. And I'm waiting for them to install it here. They supposedly were installing it in this area months ago, like whenever we first moved in, but they still haven't installed it at our house, and whenever I call them up, they're like, yeah, we don't have a specific time, but it does look like they're working in your area. It's like, great. And one of their nodes is in our backyard, so it should be easy for them to come over here and fix it. But yeah. Let's see. So, it appears that Unreal Engine is open. There we go. Wait, there we go. Let's see, 9 asset editors were open. It's very early. What I was messing with last time I was working on it is that I was attempting to, I mean, not attempting, I was successfully making an outline system, because we're kind of going for a cel-shaded look for the two characters. One of them's younger, one of them's older, and the younger one's going to have a cel-shaded kind of design over the screen, sort of give you like the view and perspective that like a child has on the world, like a childlike kind of look on the world, where everything's going to be kind of bright and colorful. And then the other one's going to have a different what do you call it, post-process over their part of the screen, their half of the screen, that's going to be it's going to make it look more dark and have more of like a painterly aesthetic. Like I'm going to do, it's called a Rostian filter, to turn it in, I think it was Rostian, unless I'm remembering the name wrong, to create a sort of oil painting kind of look in our game. So we've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but I can show you. This is like, I have not created the Rostian filter. I haven't created all of the filters to do it, but the outlines, the cel-shaded outlines are working, and had to go through some methods that I had to come up with on my own to turn it from just a regular outline, which was a fixed thickness. So if you got this far away from him, that guy right there in the middle, he would become just all lines, just pitch black, like all lines, the tutorial I followed, which was the best way to do it as far as processing power and stuff like that was concerned. But whenever I did it, it did that annoying thing. So I had to figure out how to draw different thickness lines depending on your distance from the object. So right now he's got one thickness, and if I get closer, you won't even be able to tell, but it blends and turns into a different thickness. And sort of like that, and you can kind of create it. And like, you can kind of see where it fails. The sky doesn't have a normals value, which is the angle of the polygon, because it's not made out of polygons. So there's two ways it's drawing lines. One is the depth, where it reads back there, and it reads right here, and says this is in front of that, so therefore it'll draw a line here. And then it draws another line on the outside that is about the normals value, right? So if the angle of the polygon here and the angle of the polygon there are significantly different, like the side of this ball is facing sort of that way, whereas the wall of this, you know, this backdrop wall is facing more toward the camera. So it knows these are completely different directions, and it goes, okay, draw a line between them. And that kind of creates this like effect. Those are not the two lines I had to figure out. I had to figure out how to do that and also do those multiple times at different thicknesses and then layer them, which is, yeah, which was ridiculous. But apparently that's a thing that you know, other people who make the games probably know how to do that and could do that in like 30 minutes or something, or an hour or something like that, but it took me like a week or two to like figure out exactly what I was doing right. And the game, if I play right now, is kind of a mess. There's I was doing coding, not art, so like I just grabbed a random effect for this and it is kind of laggy right now. Just because of something going on, but so you see that weird wobbly thing? That's a weird effect that plays right now, just as a weird, because I just threw an effect that was that I had, and it's so dumb. But you can like stab and do all this kind of stuff, and you can, let's see, where's my jump? You can jump. Oh, they're starting. Okay. It's lagging a little. Yeah. Oh wait, that might be an old message. Anyway.
Welcome back up here. You brought friends with you. You've got Damon and Max as well from the studio. I'm excited to get. How have you been?
Awesome. Like, surrounded by thousands of Halo fans. What a series to kick off the weekend. Like, there's no place I'd rather be.
No, honestly, it's been absolutely incredible. And Max, Damon, so lovely to have you joining me up here. I know this means really good things, but look at these Halo fans that have gathered around just to find out why you guys might be up here. Have you seen this many bodies in Seattle?
So that's the box they were talking about. That I saw someone was showing off the outside of it. That's apparently at the event.
I've got to ask as well, of course, the first time we actually got a first.
Whoa, the stream is really lagged.
We actually introduced a brand new name.
I just noticed it's still showing. Oh no, I'm not up to date up there. Live. Okay, there we go. Never mind. Somehow my own view of my stream in the YouTube studio is. You'll be back? Okay.
Exciting year at Halo Studios. The team's just been kind of laser focused, working on the next chapter for the franchise. As you mentioned, kind of last year, we took a look at what Halo could look like in Unreal 5, and over the past year, we've been busy playing
full
Halo
volume
Unreal
on them.
5. So it's just been a really exciting time for the
so
studio.
that I'm not
We're
talking
on the
too much over them.
25 years. The anniversary is next year, really since the beginning of it all with the release of Combat Evolved. So really big momentous moment and super exciting time as we looked ahead to what's going to be the next chapter for Halo.
I mean, so many incredible memories. I mean, Max, you must have tons of memories that, you know, being in the franchise and obviously it's just Halo, it's nostalgic, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, 25 years, it's incredible, right? So thinking back to the Combat Evolved experience, I mean, being on the ring for the first time as Chief, you know, just driving that Warthog to the beach, playing co-op on the couch with a friend, getting through the legendary campaign. There's just so many great memories.
Yeah, and like I remember buying my first Xbox back in 2001 and playing the game with my buddies on the couch. And then personally, I would just stop and look.
With my buddies on the couch, he said.
Doing in Halo, I just
Are they going to emphasize couch co-op?
Honestly, I got a massive role as the coolest big sister because it's how I literally spent time with my brother. We split screened Halo. That was what we did.
Split screened Halo.
Incredible. So many amazing memories.
Guys,
but
I think they're
back to the present,
gonna emphasize split screen
for a reason. And I already know you got something up your sleeve. Well, if you were wearing
games are better on the couch.
Do you want to hit us with a little world premiere?
World premiere.
Ooh. Silent cartographer. Campaign Evolved. Nice. That's a good idea for a
Halo
title.
Campaign Evolved is the next project coming out of Halo Studios. It is the ultimate Halo CE campaign remake. It is coming to Xbox, PC, and for the first time, PlayStation. It'll be arriving next year. To talk more about it, we've got Dan, Max, and Greg from the development team. Guys, let's get into this. Why is this the right game for right now?
We did this work on Halo Anniversary. I felt like there were certain
What's
things
the
that were left
L's
unsaid.
in chat?
There were certain things
I
that
don't
we
know
weren't
what they were
able to
talking
achieve
about.
at that time. There were certain things we weren't able to do.
It's a great time to revisit Combat Evolved for new players, for established Halo players, maybe even for old friends playing on different hardware today, to allow them to play together and enjoy the franchise together again.
Going back to the Halo ring again for the first time.
For the first time is really important, and for them to be surprised by new content and feel like excited again about exploring the ring world.
for new players, this is the right time for you to jump in. Think of this as your introduction into this huge franchise we've been building for the past 25 years.
I'm curious how you're going to focus on capturing the essence of the original, knowing that you need to evolve to kind of move the experience
My
forward.
only initial
Don't take that lightly at all.
takeaway,
Make a change. The number one
that
thing
the
is
only one that I have so far that's
For
like
every
slightly
one of those
negative
topics that comes up, there's someone who is
is that
incredibly
everything
passionate on the other side,
feels a little
saying
too
that
shiny,
that
just a
is
bit,
sacred. We do not
but everything
do
looks
that great.
amazing.
It's really about looking across, what we've learned over the years, what technology we've built, and how we can tie that back into this experience.
So in this game, up to 4 people can play the campaign together, regardless of which
Nice.
platform they're on. And then
Fantastic.
Kicking it old school, we can play 2-player co-op on consoles.
Nice.
On the couch together, just like we did back in the original.
Awesome. Wait, only on console?
What do you have to
Okay,
do
you could do that on
differently to
PC.
account
Why
now
not?
For 4 people running around.
For different co-op counts, we will make some of the spaces larger.
People have
We
Steam
also make
machines
more
on their
authentic to the
TVs
encounters
on,
themselves.
at their
So it's
couches
balancing act
nowadays.
between that difficulty tuning and making those encounters the right size for the right space.
I understand that we've done some special tune-up works to the beloved Warthog.
Nice. Let's
There's a
see.
new seat, what I like to call the golf cart seat or the bumper seat. This is on the back.
They added
of
a
the
4th
Warthog,
player
so you can
spot.
bring everyone with.
Mind if I join you?
Let's talk a little bit about one of
Nice.
my favorite aspects of the Halo franchise. What is a skull? What's cool about it? What does it do?
The skull is a gameplay modifier, generally mean-spirited, makes the game more challenging for the player.
The combination of pairing of these different skulls and how that's going to create that new gameplay experience. Huge amount of replay options for folks.
I love the replayability that skulls bring to a campaign. It just is almost endless variety.
We have dozens of skulls this time.
The most that we've ever had in a
That's
Halo game.
cool.
Are you a lasso guy? I think you yourself told me that you don't think anyone would ever be able to complete this game with legendary all skulls on.
I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot. And so if you can do a true legendary all skulls on run, let us know. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be really hard.
If there's one thing that this community has shown us is do not underestimate them, and they will find their way.
Absolutely.
So Halo's always been known for its sandbox. How has this evolved?
We made sure that anything we included isn't going to drastically change the way the game plays, to change the sandbox in a drastic way, but there's some really fun kind of additions, nuts across enemies, weapons, vehicles, things that in the original CE you weren't able to do before that you now can. You finally killed the elite with the sword. That weapon hits the floor and you can pick that up. You just, kind of really take it to the enemy. The sound.
Energy
All
swords
those
in
weapons, by
Halo
the way,
1.
have been painstakingly remodeled, rebuilt, higher fidelity. How do all these things kind of come to life?
That comes across through the way they look, the way they
That was their
sound,
gray box of Unreal as well. It was
the actual
just
panels
like
on the
mine, but
weapons
without
themselves,
my
the ammo
outlines.
counters.
With Unreal, the fully dynamic lighting within Lumen allows us to get those effects, right? That rich plasma lighting up and brightening the environment.
Yeah,
Of course,
that's
one
why
of
they
the
want to be so
hallmark
shiny,
elements
is they
of
want to
Halo
take
CE
advantage
is
of
what becomes kind of
the
a
lighting.
three-way battle with the introduction of the Flood.
There was quite a bit of development between Halo CE and 3 to kind of how the Flood behaved and just how they interacted with the player. So we've pulled a lot of those Flood behaviors into this game.
And I would say this is a learning specifically from CE to Anniversary, which is just kind of that mood, the atmosphere, the tension, the horror, and really delivering on that from the way that we stage the encounters and the setup and how we reveal the Flood.
In Halo
Yeah, how the
Legacy,
AI
there's some
behaves is a lot of the horror elements and the war
familiar
elements in the
friend,
game.
Familiar fiend, if you will, to challenge the player.
Talk to me just a little bit about how we're approaching the narrative aspects to bring it up to the same level as the rest of this game.
We want to tell an authentic story and we want to level up the cinematics from the source.
As we were building this out, we didn't just kind of put a new coat of paint over the original cinematics, right? We ended up revisiting exactly how they were blocked out, how they were sequenced, how they were put together, and we've done that across the board.
We have access to original source assets, original source code, and access to the original storyboards. We are
Nice.
remastering, remixing the music to go along with these cinematics.
We also had the core principal cast come in and re-record all the lines.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine sheets?
This really provides
Awesome.
great fidelity that we weren't
Awesome.
able to do for Halo Anniversary.
That's fantastic.
I'm super
Many
excited
people
that
were
this
worried
game
they'd
will
recast the
include
voices
brand
because,
new
especially of Chief, because he's getting old.
bonuses. Tell me a little bit
It was really
by taking
important
advantage of the
that we preserve
reboot
the original story as it is. So
to get a
these
new
missions
guy,
specifically
so
are
that
meant to be
later
a
on
prequel
he
setup
doesn't pass
for,
away
you know, the
during
main
development.
course.
But
These new missions are going to offer
that's not necessary.
new opportunities for character interactions, maybe between Chief and Johnson.
We've got some new
Fantastic.
mechanics, there's new AI behaviors, things that
They're gonna
haven't
adhere to
been
the
done
book,
before,
I wonder?
in
Add
Halo
some
2.
book stuff?
We're just getting started.
I really hope they have the
So where are
cut
we
scene
right
for
now
the
at stage of
ODST in
development?
the
Okay,
library.
We've been able to start engaging and sending builds out to some of our community members.
We can now see so many of the elements of the level really coming together.
There's a point in every game's life cycle where it kind of just comes online.
Seeing really high fidelity versions of cinematics, elements of the sandbox and encounter tweaks and the lighting.
You can go to someone's desk and give feedback live on an experience, and to me that's like a really exciting time in game development.
The ultimate love letter to the game that started it all. I would call upon our entire Halo community to welcome with open arms this next generation of players. I'm excited to just relive these experiences again for the first time.
Awesome. The rock kick cutscene. So unnecessary, yet so necessary. It was a great little cutscene.
Wow, guys, that is a lot to process. And I'm still trying to comprehend how Halo is coming to PlayStation. You heard it right. It's
That's
coming
awesome.
to PlayStation. I mean, I cannot even believe it, Brian.
That feels like
How
the least
excited
of
are
all
you
the
about this
announcements,
evolution?
though.
It's a
Great.
huge deal,
I mean, I
Audie.
do really like that
Something
idea.
to comment. We're just super excited
But
to be able to welcome
that's more
even
players,
now
absolutely.
into the franchise we love, to fall in love with Halo the same way that we all did, 24 years ago here at this point. And as a community guy, I know the Halo community is super excited to welcome in their friends as well. And it's just going to mean more Halo for everyone. And it's really a new era. Halo is on PlayStation going forward, starting with Halo Campaign Evolved.
It really is. Honestly, for me personally, it's amazing because I've had friends who haven't had access to Halo because they haven't had the right consoles and we just have never been able to game together. So the fact that we can now move forward, I can introduce them, bring them to my house and show them exactly how it's done. I cannot wait. Damon, how much does this mean to you?
It's incredible. I mean, like, you get an opportunity for this game. What we want is for as many fans and players to play the game as possible. And to be on the Xbox XS, to be on PC, Steam, and PlayStation all at one time, it's a heck of a way to kick off the 25th anniversary.
It really
Oh,
is.
Master
And
Chief and
Matt, the
PlayStation
game
All-Stars,
itself
maybe?
Looks absolutely
That would be
amazing,
cool.
and there's so much to dig into.
He's gonna be on
But right off the
PlayStation
bat,
now.
Can I just say how excited I am?
I used to,
that
when I was a
Split
kid, dream
Halo
about
is
Master
back.
Chief in
It is
Super
giving
Smash
all the
Brothers.
feels. It is OG,
So,
and I cannot
you know.
believe it is honestly coming back to us here. How are you feeling about that one and the decisions that were made to bring it back to life?
Very excited. I mean, Halo is always better played with friends. And
Absolutely.
That started with the original Combat Evolved
co-op,
and the
on the
co-op
couch.
experience there.
That
So
is
we're
the
really
best
excited
way.
to bring that forward, in addition to bringing forward for the first time ever, 4-player online cross-play, cross-progression co-op across Xbox, PC, and PlayStation.
That is huge. You are bringing basically your entire squad with you along for the ride. No one is left out. I love to hear that. Now, Sketch, revisiting something as iconic as Halo CE is quite a tall order. How did you feel about tackling that one, sir?
Thankfully, I'm not tackling it. No pressure for these guys. No, make no mistake. Like, Combat Evolved is a masterpiece. right?
Two-player
I mean,
split
it
screen
is-
on
it
console.
is
That's the big
perfect
announcement.
video game.
Because
The
they're
perfect
going to
story, the
ensure
perfect characters,
that
the work that
this time.
Bungie did, the universe they built.
That's my big announcement
we're all
for me,
huge
anyway.
Halo fans as well at the studio, and it's impacted all of our lives. And I know the team understands
Look
this
at that.
mantle of responsibility that comes with carrying this forward now for a new generation. Just a lot of care and attention has gone into every facet of this project. And the goal isn't to make something
They're going
that
to
can
announce that
never
that Silent
replace
Cartographer is
Halo
playable
Evolved, but
at the
make something
con,
that
I
can
bet,
stand right
at the
alongside it.
HCS, I bet.
100%. And just to
Since they're
double check,
focused so
it's
much on the
right there.
cutscenes for it,
No, this is a remake. So
specifically
it's really
on
important.
Silent Cartographer, and that was the
Everything
demo
in,
of Halo
Combat
1
Evolved has been
originally.
evaluated,
I bet
touched,
that
all
I
the
bet they
art
have it.
assets
We'll see,
remade.
but
And it's important to note that as they remake things back, the talented team back at base,
some
they
people
are
saying
preserving
Halo
the
is
heart of
dead.
Halo.
No.
Everything that they do, the cinematics, new
I mean,
mocap, animations have been
even if it's just a
redone,
little bit off in the gameplay or
we've
something like that, it'll still be
principal
great.
cast,
If it's a
VO,
true remake. This feels like a Halo 2 anniversary. Like that quality level, but more importantly, as long as it's not too buggy, then it will be like the whenever I played it on Master Chief Collection, like a year before Halo Infinite came out. That was the first time I played Halo Anniversary and Halo 2 Anniversary, and it's gonna be like that. I bet.
We have 25 years
Not exactly, but more like that
looking
than
at
Halo
feedback
1
directly
Anniversary.
from Combat Evolved Anniversary. So you can look forward to things like, you know, wayfinding, level encounter variety.
Wayfinding?
A lot of good stuff there.
Love to hear it. And it is ambitious, like you guys have been mentioning. But speaking of ambitious, Max, what is this I'm hearing about some new missions?
Yeah, 3 new missions, Chief and Johnson. You're going to have new enemies,
Awesome.
new characters.
Yeah, the
new
original
gameplay,
concept art
new
had like
environments.
3 new
So many
missions.
things. It's going to be a great
That
time.
makes sense.
Can't wait. And obviously, speaking of gameplay, there's some new enhancements.
Oh, wait.
There's lots of new
No,
things
wait.
coming for players to enjoy. What could some of those be, and what can we expect?
Yeah, that's right. We do
Master
have
Chief
an
and
expanded
Sergeant
sandbox.
Johnson is
So
the new missions.
9 weapons
That might be
all new
Halo
to
the
this
First Strike.
experience. 3 of them you may have
That might
seen
be
in
the
original
sequel
games.
book.
So the Energy Sword,
Leading into Halo
the
2.
Dual Cannon, the Sentinel Beam, those things you saw but you couldn't pick up. and
Oh
now you
boy,
can,
that could be
in
cool.
addition to 6 others joining.
Because in the books,
And
at
then
least,
also
Master
we have
Chief
things
wasn't
like
really
vehicle
with Johnson a
hijacking,
whole
we have
lot.
the ability to drive the
So
raid.
why
A
start
lot
Master
of
Chief
things to
and
look forward to.
Johnson
You know,
are
it
the
really
two
sounds like you guys
the two
are nailing the
characters
balance
that would be
between,
First Strike.
You know, the nostalgic, but the newness, and nostalgic and newness is what I'm going to run with here. You know, it's
Yeah.
great for old players, new players
could be
alike
it.
to come and experience this because it's such a beautiful story, a beautiful game. No, I want to know what you're most excited about as you start this new venture here. Damon, I'll start with you.
I said it before. It's so it's great to have a chance to bring an entirely new generation of players to the franchise. People who haven't had a chance to go on.
That's what people were hoping
missions
for. I've
with Chief
talked
are
about
now
that in
gonna
the
get to
past.
do that for the first time.
I think
And
I said that
go
on
along
stream,
with the
that if they ever
fans who
remake
have been
Halo
with
1,
us
that's what I would
for,
want.
24 years at this point, Xbox and PC players, and I'm excited for them to play it together.
I cannot wait for that. Max, what about you?
Yeah, I'm just excited about all the ways that you can play together and replay in more ways than ever before. You know, from that expanded sandbox to the dozens of skulls, some returning favorites, some that are entirely new that we're doing more with than we've ever done before. There's just really a lot of new content here to engage with.
I wonder if one of the
Cannot wait.
skulls
I'll
going
be
to switch to
certainly
third
engaging
person.
with it. And Sketch, last but not least, I can see you're excited about something.
Yeah, I am. I mean, again, as the community person, just seeing this community grow, welcoming all of our friends and new players to the franchise, is just so exciting. Just kind of knocking down walls. We're going to come together. We're going to sing Kumbaya. It's going to be great. Blue and green coming back together again. Also, I'm super excited. I got to give a shout out. Having Steve Downs and Jen Taylor back. Amazing. We're so lucky to
See
have
blue
them.
and green
they
coming
really
back
are going
together
to
again?
bring a magic touch
mean
to this experience.
red versus
And
blue?
Personally, knowing that
Red
I
and
won't
blue?
get
I don't know what he
hopelessly
means.
lost in the library anymore is a huge win for me.
Big win there, Sketch. I'm really happy for you with that one for sure. Well, folks, Halo Combat Campaign Evolved is coming in 2026. So excited to be delivering this one to you guys.
That's awesome.
And great news
2026,
for all of us, of course,
next
OGs
year.
and new players coming together. But I have to know, I'm greedy. I want to know when we can see this. When can we expect to get our hands on it? Have you got any other surprises for us?
I mean, officially, Halo Campaign Evolved will be arriving on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC in 2026. But maybe we don't have to wait quite so long to get a taste. So, yeah, I'm actually very excited to announce
Is it going to be a demo?
here at the venue all weekend long, behind these mysterious Forerunner walls, we brought a pre-release work-in-progress demo. It's a chance to drive around, check out the silent cartographer.
Silent
and get an idea
cartographer.
of what's
That's I knew
in
it.
store
I knew it. There you go.
I cannot wait. In fact, I've
I knew
actually
they were
got
going to do that.
something in front of me right now on the floor, 'cause I have
All
to
the
see
cutscenes
what
are
is
from
all
that
Blaze.
level.
You're outside. We were wondering what was in this, and finally we
Oh, that's cool. They have a Forerunner door.
Okay, and just know I'm riding a bumper. You got shotgun. Wes is driving, and Tony on turret. All right, I'm ready to get our hands on this. Are you all ready to get your hands on Campaign Evolved? Let's count it down.
That's
and we're
awesome.
gonna open the doors. All right.
I love how it's still CE because Halo Combat Evolved, Halo Custom Edition, Halo Campaign Evolved. They just keep it as Halo CE every time.
Hold up. Oh my God. Yo, get the ropes open. We got to get people in here. Look at this. Campaign Evolved. It's going to be insane. I was wondering what was in here all weekend. You
That's
guys
awesome.
kept it good from me, but you're about to lose me up in this maze, man. I'm trying to play. Are you guys trying to play out there? They are. I'll see y'all later.
You know what? I'm going to have to pull him out there later on. I'm really going to have to do it physically myself because it's going to be hard to peel him away. And I'm sure you guys as well in the venue. I mean, unbelievable.
That's awesome.
The fact that not only do you guys come up here and reveal some really exciting new additions for us as Halo fans.
We got a playable demo. I wonder if they'll put this playable demo on Xbox Live, a Game Pass or whatever.
And thank you so much for joining us.
I hope so.
Well. It's been
that would be great.
amazing.
Put this on PlayStation.
At Halo Campaign Evolved.
Let that come out later this year.
Have you got any final thoughts?
Maybe right after this event.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I want to thank the team that's working hard back at the office on this experience that you're all gonna play.
API will,
it's
you know, get into it, grab some API files out of it, and figure out exactly everything about the game before it even ships.
Well, you know what, folks, you are very, very lucky because the next chapter of Halo arrives next year. And for everyone here at the Halo World Championships, you've got the opportunity to get your hands on it amongst the first in the world. You can go and play it here today. I hope you guys enjoy it all weekend long, but I think it's about time we get back to the Halo action on the main stage. So here's your Halo World Championships as we get into the next one.
Put the demo on Games Pass. I'll wait if they want to wait a week or wait until the weekend's over. That's fine.
The ring has some kind of deep religious significance. They call it Halo. They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon.
What sort of weapon is it?
One with unimaginable power.
Nice. It's not vast unimaginable power anymore. It's just unimaginable power now.
Fire Team Charlie, we're on our way.
Touchdown! Hit it, Marines! Somebody order a warthog.
Nice.
Putting up a real fight. The cartographer must be here.
Rock and roll, rock and roll!
Give them hell, Chief.
Very nice.
The 2025 Halo World Championship.
Awesome. I think that's the end of that announcement, so they're just gonna do this now. let me turn it back down again. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's awesome. I guess I made 2 predictions, maybe a third, that were both true, was that it looked like it was going to be Silent Cartographer was going to be available at the venue, and it is, and that and that it would have co-op, because at the very beginning they started mentioning co-op, couch co-op immediately as why they liked Halo, which is good. Those were the things I actually wanted. Yeah, I mean, the first one was the one I wanted. The couch co-op is what I wanted anyway. That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to this a lot. I'm glad they're just focusing on campaign with this one, and that they're going to do their multiplayer separately, because how online multiplayer games are played has completely changed since Halo 2 introduced online versus in the first place, and it might change again. And if it does in the middle of the life cycle of these games, then they'll need to be able to keep up. So it makes sense. I'm not opposed to any of that. That makes sense development-wise. I look forward. I really am looking forward to this game now. Let's see. So that's cool. Yeah, I think this is a big W. I wonder if anybody was in here that I know. Like, Az Wilco might be in here. AZ Wilco. Aaron. But yeah, let's see. Where is this? Okay, cool, it's over here. Okay. Oh, hey. Hi, man. What do you think about the new Halo game? For me, it looks weird, and I don't know. This don't feel. Looks like Halo. Okay. So, here's my thoughts. I thought that there was a slight. It's a little too shiny. Visually, it's a little too shiny. There's way more detail and stuff like that. If I want to go back and play the original game, then I would very much enjoy going back and playing the original game whenever I want to, right? That's fine with me. I still love the original game. But that is the visual vibe that's a little off. And I realized whenever they started talking about how the plasma flies through and I see you saying, the plasma flies through and it like reflects off the walls and stuff like that. I think that's why they're leaning into that. Let's see. They're leaning into Lumen to be able to handle all that. So that's why I think they're doing it. But I agree with you. That does look, there's something off, and it is the shininess is, I think, the source of it. Mostly it's also more detail, but yeah, I think that's the main core issue visually. But it's not, like, I could accept it. I'll accept it if it's too shiny, if it's going to stay that way. I feel the same thing that you're feeling, that's slightly off about the graphics being a little too shiny. Or that there is something off, and I think it's that. But yeah, I like that they keep Master Chief's voice, and even though he's getting old and they're rebooting it, this would have been a perfect timing. Let's see, I think Halo Infinite has better use of the art style. This feels like a fan game. I think this felt a little bit like a Unreal Engine fan demo video, like you're saying. Like whenever they do the Unreal Engine, Ocarina of Time and Unreal Engine, it feels off. I definitely agree about that. It does feel a little bit off, but hopefully because it's just an early version, we're still early on, they haven't tweaked and finalized things, maybe they'll adjust how shininess looks and get people's feedback. Maybe the fans will let them know, like we are. I think we're talking about it now, about what's going on. Community stage, I wonder what this is. But yeah, we just need to make sure they know. If we let them know, hey, the one downside is it feels a little there's something weird about it, and I think it's the lighting, and the too shiny, then they'll know. They'll be able to adjust it. Like this area doesn't look bad, it just feels overly hyper detailed for classic Halo. This area looks fine now, but as soon as there's at Master Chief height level, the reflections all sort of feel too much. Like even at this height, the reflections are starting to get a little too intense. But for the vibe, for classic Halo's vibe. But yeah. But what I was saying is, it feels like the blur cutscenes from Halo 2, Anniversary. That's what the gameplay itself feels like, those blur cutscenes, and those were a little too shiny then too. Like even as much as we love them, whenever they came out, it's like, yeah, this is awesome, but it is a little too shiny, but it's fine. Anyway, I'll stop saying too shiny. But Ellie, they said there's 3 new missions, and then they mentioned that it's, let's see, I think Halo Infinite has, that looks like looks like Halo 4 to 5 hyper super over designed. Yeah, it's got way too, it should be a little more muted in like the detail on the walls. For example, in Forerunner structures before Halo 4 and 5 was intentionally faded a bit. Yeah, and they put too much detail into it. It feels a bit like Metroid Prime visuals merged with Halo, and that's what I've been saying for years actually, is that they Halo 4 had 1/3 of the development team was, or maybe it's 2/3, but I think it was 1/3, were from the Metroid Prime team that had just dissolved after Metroid Prime 3. And the Chozo designs with the lines of light going through their structures and the sharp angles and curves and stuff like that was different from the way that the Forerunners are built, and it matched the Halo 4 art style. So I've always pointed that out for a long time. Let's see, I'm not live? There we go. Anyway, so I'm not live on their video. Apparently it's a little behind. But yeah, so that's my thought on that. But I do think that I'll accept it with it being slightly off. I think it looks really cool and really modern. and I always can go back and play Halo 1 as long as it still feels like Halo during the gameplay and the cutscenes still communicate. Oh, I was going to say about the new levels, though. They said Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson in the new levels, and the only time in the story that is important is that in after Halo 1, there's a book between Halo 1 and Halo 2 called Halo The First Strike, and it follows Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson and a couple other survivors of the Alpha Halo making their way back to the Earth. So I think those new levels are going to be after the end of the story, and it's going to be the story of them getting back and coming in contact with a giant Covenant space station called the Unyielding Hierophant, and that's going to be really cool if that's true. So he's booting up, though. Nice.
Custom for the demo. Such a full, fleshed out menu.
Let's see, 3 all-new levels, apparently. There's a date, yeah. My Discord's over here. I don't want to reveal private information, so I don't have it on screen, but someone was just saying that part.
What are those other missions? I don't know what those are.
Let's see. Oh, thanks for your thoughts and opinions. I thought I was the only weird one with these thoughts. I even think the Halo ring looks weird too. I don't know. Yeah, it does. You know what it feels like? It feels like what Halo Anniversary wanted to look like. You know what I mean? It's like, this is good and looks good, just a little off for if you are a fan of Halo Combat Evolved and like have played a lot of it. But it does actually look good this time. But it's what Halo Anniversary wanted to look like and didn't, and failed miserably at. But this actually looks good, but also different. It's still different. It's like different in the same way as Halo Anniversary, but actually good this time. So I think I'll accept it. Man, this is, yeah, I think that's honestly the best way to describe it, though, is I do think, yeah, it feels like what Anniversary wanted to be in the first place. Oh, we finally get to see her. You're back. What is new? Oh, well, they're showing people playing it. They just now revealed the face, at least half of it, of the faux hammer, finally, after all this time. I mean, I think she was in one of the Halo Encyclopedia books. But yeah. I've got someone over on Kick talking to PTSD Machine, but my chat that usually pops up on screen and shows both chats on it is not functioning for some reason. So y'all won't be able to see each other talking. So if one of y'all wants to switch to the other platform, I'm on YouTube and on Twitch, then y'all be able to talk to each other. I'm just letting y'all know in case y'all want to chat with each other too. Let's see. I'm gonna try and find my chat box, and I don't even know what to do with it to fix it, to be honest. I haven't streamed in over a year, so I'm not even sure how to fix it. I changed the, I updated the URL to access it too, so I really have no idea what to do to fix it. It's supposed to be, here, look, I'll show you. See, y'all are both on here, and it's doing this. But like, there's this box here. Anyway, that's insanity. I'm gonna move it. The endless, the little like mirror, showing a mirror thing. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't know how to make it work again. So they're moving. Their AI is actually moving like Combat Evolved AI. That's one thing I've noticed, by the way. I want to point that out. That I don't know if they just copy pasted the AI movement and just made it work in Unreal Engine, or if they actually rebuilt it and just designed it to match. But look at, like, okay, the way it bounces and everything, this is definitely Havoc Engine physics, like they said they were gonna do, or like the rumors or that they were doing is obviously, yeah, it's Unreal Engine, but they're not using Unreal Engine physics, they're using Havoc Engine physics, which is a plugin, and was the original plugin that Bungie paid for and plugged into their engine for the thing. So it actually is moving correctly. and driving correctly, which is good. It feels like it's driving slower than a regular Warthog, but I don't think it is, like Combat Evolved Warthog. I think something about the visuals has altered the way it feels, and maybe it's because, oh, yeah, I think I know what it is. I think their aspect ratio is set to, or there is, not a, is the aspect ratio? What am I talking about? Field of view. Their field of view is set to, I don't think it's set to 90. It's Halo Combat Evolved was 90 on its aspect ratio, which is why the elites look so thick, by the way. Their shoulders are so broad looking, and they feel kind of Halo Reach-ish in a way. That's because they don't, the elites in Halo 1 felt tall and noble because they were set to 90 on their field of view, and every other Halo game since has been slowly getting smaller. The graphics in that video are actually pretty killer. They are. I love the graphics. This is what we were just talking about with Kaneki Oz over on Twitch. Is that the graphics feel like, it feels like a good version of what Halo Anniversary was trying to do. It's a little too shiny, so it still feels a little bit off. Like the details on the Forerunner walls are a little too pronounced to feel like Combat Evolved, but it does still feel way better than Anniversary in every single way imaginable. Like even in trying to do the same things that Anniversary did, like the extra shiny walls, the over detail on the walls, it's still, they did a better job at it here by a lot. Using, of course, some Halo Infinite. So, like, I can absolutely accept these graphics, unlike Anniversary, where I always play in the classic style. I always turn off the graphics there and go to classic Halo's graphics. But this one, I'm gonna love. Like, I still love it, even though it feels a little off. Like the lighting for those lights, like on the floor there. You see on the floor there, let me see. These little lights here on the floor. That wouldn't have happened on the floor in Combat Evolved, because while it did have a lot of lighting and a lot of the baked-in stuff like that, even though they had the lights on the wall there, you know, something like that on the wall, I'm pretty sure they did, those lights wouldn't have actually projected light. They would have just been little, they were just like luminous, you know, textures. So I think that, yeah. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. I'm sure. I'm just rambling. But I like you said, it's not Anniversary. He's addressing exactly what we're saying. See, yeah, this room is darker. It still has all the reflections and stuff. So it's a little more reflection-y. But yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you, there you go, I was gonna say, why don't you
sprint. Oh boy. I just hope they do infinite sprint and not Halo 4 and 5 sprint. You should be able to shoot out of sprint immediately, or else it does not, or else it's gonna break. I mean, in campaign it probably won't break the flow of the map, because that's a multiplayer breaking flow of the map issue.
Good news is that'll also be something you can disable if you want to.
Yeah, it's an optional thing. We've got it on by default.
It's probably a skull. Nah, not talking too much. If we didn't want to hear you, we wouldn't be watching your streams. That's true. I guess so. But yeah. Hey, look, the vehicles take damage. That's not Combat Evolved. That's great. That's a cool upgrade since Combat Evolved. But yeah. But yeah, it's. So I predicted two things throughout that stream. I don't remember if you were here at the time, PTSD Machine, but as they were talking before they revealed it, it looked like they were maybe going to have multiplayer split screen, and so I was like, oh, I bet that's going to be the case. That's going to confirm today, and then yeah, they did. And then I was like, now I bet, since all the cutscenes that they're revealing are just all from Silent Cartographer, I bet they're going to reveal that they're going to have a playable demo today that's just Silent Cartographer, just like whenever Halo Combat Evolved came out, you know, originally, the first E3 was that they had the playable demo, and then at the end they announced it, and so those are my only two predictions I made, and because I but yeah, since predictions are just a fun way to do just a video game, you know, release staple. But yeah,
there's a lot we did to kind of try to have that
But yeah, oh, I was saying earlier, and I haven't been, I was going to go into that, is look at the way they're moving. They are moving absolutely combat evolved. Like, that elite, that is, like, obviously the running and, you know, the fear and the grunts and stuff like that, that's obviously, you know, pretty obvious. But the way the elites are moving is combat evolved and, you know, maybe a little bit of, like, reach. But yeah. I need to switch back over to the other checks. It's doing that delay again. I was looking at the other one. But yeah. Yeah. So.
I can't believe you're taking the
Oh, were you here earlier? I was talking about the, they announced the missions. The 3 new missions that are going to be Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson. Why is it those 2 specifically that they mentioned? There are no parts in the book, in Halo Combat Evolved, the book, Halo the Flood, the novel, that has specifically Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson interacting any more than in the actual games, right? But what it does have Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson interacting more often is the next book, Halo the First Strike, which is them getting back to Earth after the events of, you know, Halo 1, before the events of Halo 2, and coming in contact with the space station, the giant, you know, Covenant space station, the unyielding Hierophant. So, that's what I think it is. I think they're adding in basically an expansion pack of 3 missions that adds in the next, you know, chapter of the story, so that you don't have to read the books to get the whole story. And that's fantastic, because everybody's wished that we didn't have to read the books to get the whole story and just could read the books for a little bit of extra. But like, this is, like, that was a pretty big extra, you know what I mean? That back in the day, that they had that. It was like, how does Master Chief get back to Earth was a kind of a, I guess it wasn't a huge question for some people. They found a way to kill Halo, lol. I don't know about this killing Halo. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to kill Halo. If they bring Master Chief Collection to PlayStation as well, then people can go back and play the old one too. I think this is perfectly viable. I do think that it's like we were saying earlier, it's wild card that the graphics before you joined, the graphics are really good, but maybe a little too shiny. But you know. And to maybe a little, like, the details on the wall, the detail work on the wall is very pronounced. But I don't know, some areas like this are pretty good. Like, this feels like Combat Evolved, just up higher graphics, so I don't even know. You know? Get some hunters. Yeah. If this was a new game coming out instead of a remake, the players playing it as a demo would probably do all sorts of mistakes, but he knows exactly what's around every corner, like all of us would. This room is fantastic. Like, see what I mean? Like, this is actually, in spite of the difference in the shininess and stuff like that, like he was saying earlier, it kept the darkness, and it's actually really good in that way. Dead. Man, the plasma and energy shield like effect looks weird.
They're back though. Alright.
Like after he's dead, I mean, it's like he's like surging with energy on his shield.
Here they come.
I was trying to show off how cool they're glowing.
He just grenaded himself. Back off on that after you throw it. Let's see.
Super effective against hunters, but yeah, they charge at you, so you gotta
Let's
be really
see.
careful about that.
Over in this other chat, yeah, everyone, no one even mentioned what I said.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I didn't even see that.
No scope.
Oh, the Needler used the Halo Infinite model, apparently.
I mean, we might make it through this demo.
Someone was pointing out.
I know. Alright.
I wonder if this is an assault rifle, like the, you know, that skin for the assault rifle in Infinite that made it look like the Halo 1 assault rifle. I wonder if that's actually that skin imported.
Doozy right there.
I mean, this room is tough, right? It's a close quarter environment. There's crates all over the place, and yeah, the idea is
that's what
gotta fight 2 damn hunters.
Yeah, hunters are, but yeah, look at the hunters. They're moving like hunters from Halo 1 too. So I really do think that their AI is actually
I gotta change that.
I don't know if they rebuilt it. I think they probably copied and pasted it. Like they just sort of, they went and got it directly from it.
The hunters are difficult.
I just threw it on 2 sticks there.
You could just run past him, come back and fight him with the elites.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Alright, let's light up. Let's see that orange blood. Yeah.
The worm.
Okay, the blood being bioluminescent is, I think, from the books and looks pretty good too. So they are incorporating a lot of stuff from the books.
So the hunters are difficult.
Which we knew they were starting to do more in the games with Infinite, because the Razorback was from I Love Bees. It was from the audio recordings from I Love Bees. It had never existed in anything before that. And then the I Love Bees audio log, there's a girl who's a Spartan 1.1, the child of a Spartan 1. And the Spartan 1s had genetic augmentations, not just chemical augmentations, so all of their augmentations were inherited by their children. And so they were raised from birth with those augmentations too, so they were more accustomed to them. They didn't have to relearn how to move their bodies after getting them. They learned from childhood how to do that, so they were actually a little bit better than the Spartan 1s, and back before, you know, the Spartan 2s. And she was brought into I think she was injured and brought into a hospital, and then the UNSC came to investigate because she was like, you know, they were like, hey, there's something weird about this lady. And then she's like a 19-year-old girl or something like that. And they had this basically, whenever the UNSC showed up, she blew past them and like ninja'd her way up into the shadows in the ceiling, and then like dropped down on them and whatever, ran past, or got past them or something, and when it ran and stole their vehicle, which was said to be like a warthog without a, you know, they called it a Razorback, and it was described out of I Love Bees somewhere else, something like that, as being something like a warthog but heavier armor and no gun turret. And then of course Halo Infinite came out and they had it in there. So among a few other things. So they are deriving ideas from the novels now, which is something I've always wanted. As soon as 343 took over, I was hopeful that would happen. Invisible elites. Yeah, it could be more Halo Reach AI, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it looks like that's what they're doing here with Sergeant Johnson and Master Chief. I'm hopeful that's gonna happen. And the bioluminescent blood.
The storyboard was huge. It was super helpful. And yeah, we remastered every
that rock, that like little like ridge there is exactly the same shape as the original game.
Bringing back members of the principal cast, Steve and Jen back in the booth, so all new.
Hey, they changed the crash of the Pelican. It actually makes sense now. Like it was at an angle before where like it had to have like it'd have been weird to have crashed the way it was in the original game because it came from the building. The angle would have been like from the building. So maybe it crashed and sort of flipped sideways or something. Hard to say, but they actually rearranged the crash and now it's at an angle that makes a little tiny bit more sense. I guess if they were trying to float down and deploy onto the building up top and then got shot down and fell down and crashed, maybe that's why it was angled that way in the original game. But like that building right up there, you know, right up on top there, I'm pointing at the screen as if that building up there, if they were like trying to deploy troops or something and then crashed, maybe that's why. But anyway,
Try and keep this warthog in one piece.
the water looks gorgeous, which is just Unreal Engine 5 doing its thing. Yeah, that's that's Halo 1 physics on the Warthog for sure. I think the enemies are also running on AI from Halo 1. And it might be Halo, you know, Infinite or Halo Reach or something like that influence, but or adjusted Halo 1, but I think it is. There's some Unreal Engine quirks in the graphics that I'm also seeing, that because I'm making a game in Unreal Engine 5, so I've been doing a lot of research in quirks that it has and stuff, and there are definitely some little quirks in the background that have like weird blurriness at some points, but it's okay. It's working. It still looks, you know, compared to Combat Evolved, the fidelity, and it's like, okay, as long as it feels like it, then even little quirks of Unreal Engine 5 can be overlooked.
All 6 hunters down.
It's probably nanite. I think it's nanite that causes the issue, but it's, yeah. and then he can get inside. He didn't try to keep his elites, I mean his Marines alive by putting the Warthog there in the corner, where there is a little pocket that if in the original game where if you put your Warthog right there, whenever it does the trigger volume to kill all of the elite, I mean all of the Marines, it doesn't do that. Why did he glitch? Was that my computer? Like Master Chief like glitched on my screen. That was weird. I actually was in chat, like a live chat during a video of one of Marty O'Donnell's live streams where he and someone else were talking about this cutscene, and I pointed out to Marty how it just, like how it gives you a feeling like the game acknowledges your existence in a weird way there. That, oh, that's where it ends. Interesting. They didn't do the whole level. That's fine. I guess for a demo. Anyway, it sort of like acknowledges your existence and how strange the world is, and it sort of gives you a suspension of disbelief because of that one little cutscene there. It's like the absurdity of the depth of that fall and like everything you're looking at. It actually, I think, does a really good job of doing a lot of things for the player that until that moment doesn't really draw you into the game in a specific way. And it was something that I think it was Marty was the one who was insisting they have it, and I was like, I'm glad you did that because yeah, and yeah, it wasn't a live video though, he was in the chat live, but it was a premiere of a video he had pre-recorded, so the video he didn't respond, but in the chat he did. It was pretty cool.
We'll move Dan into the hot seat. We won't be able to play all the way through. We only got about 10 minutes, but let's see how far you get. Let's see what the extra tense enemies do here. While you're doing that, a couple shots.
Oh, so he's gonna try the same demo. Gotcha.
We talked a little bit about the 4-player network co-op, which is pretty cool, especially because it's cross-platform, cross-progression, but also Unicheck. The return of split screen.
I'll put it this way. I'm extremely excited. I think the weird wonkiness of the visuals that feels a little bit off from classic Halo is something I can overlook. I really look forward to playing split screen with my wife and you know, on the couch on the same, you know, on the same screen is for me a huge sell for a game. And yeah. It just, I'm very excited already. I feel like I keep starting saying something and then going off on something else and then never finishing a thought. I don't know. There's just so much stuff on screen like popping into my head because of what I'm looking at. That I feel like I'm losing my train of thought multiple times. Sentinel beam, yeah, Sentinel beam's the energy sword. I'm glad they're putting those things in. That's cool. They actually used the nose cone. I didn't see it the first time. We got our faux hammer.
And then also, I know I heard Max also mention you'll be able to board the Wraith and drive the Wraith around finally now.
Really? The Wraith? That's cool. Can you hijack vehicles in this?
We got hijacking in here now.
There he just said it.
Have we said boarding yet? Because boarding is definitely
a lot of the cool things that got introduced over the course of the franchise. That's the great thing about having hindsight now.
Awesome.
Going back and bringing all those features back into combat, campaign evolved, and the combat evolved experience for the first time.
That's okay. I'm very excited. I hope that they brought in being able to hijack a hunter, because that was going to be in, I don't remember where they're going to introduce it. It might have been Combat Evolved. It might have been Halo 2, or maybe it's just Reach. But they had been planning to add it in for early on, and then in Reach, says it as you say it. I know, right? It's like he answered my question. It's like I asked him directly and he was answering my question. And but like they were gonna have it to where you could jump up onto the back of a hunter in, you know, amongst the spikes on its back and melee attack it from up there, possibly, you know, and even like shove a grenade into the worms and then jump off and blow it up. and that was going to be one way you were going to be able to kill hunters, at least in Reach. I think they had the idea earlier and weren't able to implement it at all, and then in Reach they almost did, and it's actually in the files in the game. It's just that it's not completed, where effectively they put an invisible vehicle attached to every hunter's back that you were able to hijack, and like where you board the hunter and then throw a grenade into it. And I think they were also going to make it to where grunts could board hunters and shoot at you from their back. And you'd have hunters with little like grunts or jackals or something like that on their back shooting at you, which would be really cool because the hunters have to charge up their attack. Having a rapid fire but kind of bad at aiming character on the back of a hunter, that would have been really cool. So I understand how the feature was going to work. It makes sense. But also, I wonder if they're going to do something like that in this too, because that would be really cool to add.
So I'm going to make them a turret and just leave, because I will die if I do not do that.
You're on your own.
Like that always sounded like a feature that should be in Halo. Like one of the ones they didn't finish, but should actually be in there. There are some features where it's like, I don't know if that should or should not. But that one should absolutely be added. It would add to the characters in a way that fits everything perfectly, and would, I think, make the encounters more interesting. Having to shoot the grunt that's just barely poking up over the back of a hunter, you know, get a headshot to take it out before you engage, or else it's gonna start blasting you with the plasma pistol, you know, especially on Legendary. That'd be great.
Oh no! But as we heard in the video, sorry Dan. These bonus missions, though, brand new story, new characters, new environments,
Okay.
new gameplay mechanics, a couple surprises. It's going to be just chock full of goodness.
So the new missions and the new environments, he said, which, let's see, guns riding hunters would be awesome. It really would be. And that's did you hear what he just said there? He emphasized new campaign missions and new environments, which, yes, obviously they're not going to just rehash the environments. If they're going to add new missions, they're going to probably make new environments. So that makes sense. I don't know if, though, he would emphasize new environments so heavily. He was like new environments, and it kind of feels like he means like, you know, like not like a new biome necessarily, but like a radically unique environment. And Halo: The First Strike, if I were to summarize it into 3 missions, it would be there would be a cutscene at the beginning that would show Master Chief finding Cortana, or like a bridge sort of cutscene between the end of where you go out, not finding Cortana, Master Chief and Cortana finding Sergeant Johnson. That's what I'm going to say. Master Chief and Cortana finding Sergeant Johnson, being in Pelican with some other survivors. So instead of saying just dust and echoes, they'd probably go straight into her detecting Sergeant Johnson, which in the books was a little while before the Johnson's Pelican could be detected. They linked up. She remote controlled the bomber to take down the shields of a Covenant cruiser. They then landed using the Pelican on the Covenant cruiser and took control of it. That could be a mission right there. Or it could be that they could sort of make that quicker in some way and move on to the next mission. But I think that would be the next mission, is board the Covenant cruiser, take control of it. It's actually a carrier, I think. She did something involving getting control of a carrier. Now that I think about it, it was bigger than the other ships involved. I think she faked them out, made them think that she was going to board the regular ship. I forget exactly, but it was something like that. And then you go on. They went back first to Reach, not knowing it had fallen. They arrive at Reach. They find some other Spartans alive, and they try to move on from there. I guess I could be spoiling stuff for anyone who hasn't read the books. Hopefully not. Anyway, I just realized I'm going to be very vague about it. You know, everybody knows some Spartans have survived Reach. They played Halo 5, and stuff like that. People know that June trained the Spartan Force. So I guess the way I'm describing it is keeping it vague enough that people will be able to not be spoiled beyond what people already know. Anyway, so they leave Reach and they go back to Earth. But first, they have to do the Cole protocol, so they have to do a random jump. But Halsey gives them the coordinates instead of the first Master Chief's first mission, the first Spartan 2 mission, not just Master Chief, all of them, which was a insurrectionist space station. And oh, I just realized the healing. Your health bar auto heals, but it is visible. I wonder if it's going to have thresholds where it doesn't heal beyond that, like in Halo Reach. But they're not doing health packs. That's a big difference. That means that I'll go back to what I was saying about the story, and then I'll go back to I'll go to this game mechanic in this new game. But anyway, so then you leave. They end up going to a space station, and they go back to Earth. So the missions that I'm thinking would be take the Covenant cruiser to get back to escape, possibly be on Reach, and then a cutscene for the space station, for the Insurrection space station, because not much happens for the Spartans there, even though a lot of stuff happens there. The Spartans don't do much themselves as a mission. And then the third mission would be the Unyielding Hierophant itself, which was where you the UNSC first came in contact with brutes. And now I'm realizing, at least in the original lore, that's not literally where they first come in contact with them anymore, but it was Master Chief had never seen them before in the book. Now I'm realizing, though, that they're going to be able to rewrite that so that he has seen them before. But also, I wonder if they're going to put brutes on the Alpha Halo, or if they're going to maintain the lore that, the Arbiter's fleet does not have brutes in it, which I think they should maintain that lore. But, that's a good question. If they'll add brutes to the campaign. They definitely could have them in those missions, though. So, yeah. Oh, so what I was going to say about the health is that, we were talking about that earlier, PTSD machine, about leveling up in video games, like in my game that I'm making, which is just gray boxes right now and a bunch of code. Co-op for the first time. Play it on your Xbox.
PC, and for the first time will be on PlayStation 5. You can play this yourself. It'll be here all weekend, right over behind us in the giant enclosure.
Okay, they're not announcing it's going to be on Games Pass. I was hoping he would say something. Keeps insisting you can play it yourself here.
And please be sure to give us your feedback. We have a survey there.
They keep saying you can play it yourself, and then following up with here at the event. I wonder if they're going to announce after the event, no, we're actually going to put it on Games Pass. I hope so. Because playing even that short bit of the Silent Cartographer would be really cool. It would definitely sell the game to me if I can play it and it plays right. You know what I mean? Oh, but anyway, okay. So the healing. If you don't have to pick up, you're learning Unreal Engine as well. Awesome. Did I miss that? When did you say that? Was that just now, or did I miss that? Okay, no, it was just now. Okay, just check the timing, because I keep on being worried I missed something. But yeah, it's really cool that Forge was so close to Forge for Halo Infinite was so close to Unreal Engine, because that did a really good job of bridging the gap for me from Unity's, UI and stuff like that, and then getting into Unreal Engine 5 now. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm glad you're learning it too, though, because it's good to know, especially since the next game is they're moving to Unreal Engine 5. That means the next time they have a Forge mode, it's going to be an extension of Unreal Engine 5. It'll probably be Unreal Engine F or something like that. The Unreal Engine Fortnite, Unreal Engine is FN. They'll probably have just Unreal Engine F for Unreal Engine Forge for the next multiplayer Halo, and hopefully they actually make a Forge mode for the campaigns. That would be amazing. Imagine if they made a Unreal Engine 5 Forge mode for specifically making more campaign levels and expanding on it and stuff like that. That would be the Forge I would move. I would completely move off of the multiplayer one onto that one entirely if they made that, to be honest. Because I love Forge in general, but I would completely move off of it, off of the multiplayer Forge into the campaign one if they had that. But anyway. What I was saying about the health pack, the health bar, is that the mechanics for leveling up, like in Zelda, getting items, that's the same thing as leveling up for statistics, right? Like I was saying earlier, it's like you're gaining new abilities and over time, and I see you said 100%. And so it's like, if the same level, if that's all leveling up, and you go in the same way that's all leveling up, grabbing a health pack, the auto healing, they're all the same mechanic, but they're through different lenses. It's how you portray them. And I've talked about this on my stream before, but again, it's been over a year, so I don't know if you're going to remember this or that I even talked about it. But my philosophy on game design with you have 3 ways that human brains interact with the world around them. And that is strategically, tactically, and operationally, which are terms from the U.S. military. and strategically is basically choosing an objective, like what you want to do. Is effectively, that's a good way to sum it up. Tactically is how you interact with obstacles that are trying to thwart you. And then operationally is how you accumulate resources and reposition resources, including your own physical body, which is a resource in a way, in the unit, like around you, to make sure you can accomplish these missions long term. And you can think entirely operationally, just by accumulating resources and never using them, for example, or where it's all about acquisition of resources. Someone like, a millionaire who decides to who becomes a millionaire and then retires, like there's a Reddit community of people who just try to become able to self-sustain themselves with just the income of their bank accounts giving them interest and stuff like that, or their investments in stock and stuff like that, and then they'll try to retire, right? And those people, for example, are just trying to work strategically and operationally until they get to that, strategically and tactically, until they get to that point, and then try to engage primarily operationally to maintain their resources, right? That's a good example in real life, right? So video games do the same thing. I know I'm not looking at the camera, so it looks like I'm not looking at you while I'm talking, but I'm looking at these concept arts, these fan arts. They're really cool. But basically, it's that's the premise, is that humans interact with the world the same exact with these ways, and games are just an extension of that. Well, if you have leveling up, right? That's what I was saying earlier. Leveling up, you can accumulate stat points that are sort of like abstract, or you can do something more physical. Both of them are really just acquiring resources into your inventory of stuff, right? You're accumulating experience points and leveling up because of that, which is acquiring you new tactical advantages in combat, or ways of engaging with a puzzle tactically. So a hook shot is, whenever you go looking for something in Zelda, hook shot, you look for something to shoot the hook shot at, and you want to use the hook shot, or I'll use Wind Waker actually with the what do you call it? Not the hook shot, but the grappling hook. You can throw that at an enemy and it steals what's in their pocket, right? So it's a tactical use of the grappling hook that is not the same as other items, and so you're just acquiring these tactical abilities during combat. But the point is, all of this is to say that the healing in this new game that the demo has shown is that now you no longer have to maneuver yourself across the battlefield to a new position, which is part of operational thinking, to heal. The shields in Halo Combat Evolved, the flow was you need to use health packs to heal your health, and you have a second health bar, the energy shields. And the energy shields you would heal tactically by breaking contact with the enemy. They can't no longer shoot you. It's still kind of a maneuver, so it's a little bit operational, but because it's specifically it's like a tactical maneuver, it's not an operational maneuver, because it's in that moment the tactic is putting a physical object between you and the enemy. And if you could drop wall, for example, like in later games like Halo 3, then that is still a tactical action to break contact with the enemy, right? So it's not exclusively hiding behind a rock or a tree, but in Halo 1, yes, you do use a small operation of a retreat, like an operational action of retreating, maneuvering, to hide behind a rock. And then you've broken contact with the enemy. That's a tactical decision mid-combat. Grabbing a health pack was purely operational, because it's a resource on the map that you have to maneuver out of your way. When you spot one, you maneuver out of your way to go pick one up, or if you've memorized the entire game like I have, and probably you have, you know exactly where every single health pack is in the game, including I think there's one outside of the level, outside of one of the levels or something like that. But you had to go find the health pack to heal. So you had two health bars, one healed tactically, and one of them healed operationally. There aren't a lot of games that heal strategically. That would be a decision you'd make before the game starts. And a good example of that would be, there was actually I was having a conversation with someone a month ago online in a chat thing about this literally healing and this, which is why I could so off the cuff just immediately talk about the healing. And these different examples. But one of them was a game I hadn't played that he had played, where it was a strategy game. It was one of those auto battlers where you make a bunch of strategic decisions before the battle starts, and that included when your healing triggered. Like your healing ability was something you had to like set a timer for. The countdown timer would go, and then healing would go off, and you wouldn't know yet before the battle if your units even needed to heal at that time. But the strategic decision of, we're going to move in, we're going to attack this way, and part of the objective is we're going to make it to this point and then we're going to heal, not any sooner. And that being part of the objective is we're going to survive until this point, heal, and then we're going to continue the assault. That's a strategic decision of adding a moment in the main objective is destroying the enemy's forces, right? But you created a strategic moment in the middle that you're trying to survive until, right? And so that's like an objective mode in Halo is like choosing like King of the Hill, right? That's like choosing a strategy that you're trying to achieve by controlling that hill. It's a strategy that you have to eliminate the entire enemy team in Slayer. It's a strategy that you have to take the enemy flag. So the strategic thinking in Halo has primarily been in the main menu whenever you pick your objective, or it's a strategy that's handed to you by Cortana. Cortana's the strategist in the campaign. And most of the time, Master Chief or 343 Guilty Spark is the other strategist in the campaign. So Halo is not very strategic. It's very tactical and it's very operational, and it uses those parts of your brain and like really flexes them, and you know, like a muscle, your brain gets stronger, you feel it, it gives you like that vibe of Halo's gameplay is all coming from the feeling, the emotional like and like the mental feeling of your brain flexing in those ways and using those parts of your brain. And but basically an operational way of healing would be if you plan it out. Another great example that I think a lot of people have played though is actually Kingdom Hearts. In Kingdom Hearts you can go into the menu and set up the AI for Goofy and Donald Duck to be able to tell when they heal. It's like, when I reach 30% of my health, activate heal. And you'll die if you do that. You gotta do 50% because Donald Duck is a jerk, and he doesn't actually finally heal until like a couple seconds after you reach that health point, whatever you set it to. So yeah, basically that's a strategic decision you can make in the main menu, programming the AI to heal you at a specific moment, and they will in the future trigger that event when you reach that point. So those are good examples of strategic healing. Halo, though, specifically has always had one of each, operational and tactical, in Combat Evolved. I mean, not always. And Halo 2's revolutionary thing of hiding the health bar and making it regenerate is... But vehicles still take damage over time and don't regenerate back to full. They do, by the way, they regenerate, but they have thresholds. Like Halo reaches Spartan health. How you have those points where you do recover, but there's a limit, and there's like two different thresholds, one the red, one yellow, and then the full, and then you have to grab a health pack. So Reach kind of brought that back, operational and tactical healing, but they made the the operational healing a little more forgiving by letting you do a little bit of healing between the things. Anyway, I feel like I'm ranting, but I'm also throwing out a bunch of information that I've thought of, that I've been considering for years. But the point is that, yeah, it's it looks like they're making it purely tactical, which is what more like Halo 2, more like Halo 3, and of course 4 and 5 and Infinite, which is most of the Halo games have been like that. It's going to make Halo, it's going to make it feel different from Combat Evolved though. That will make it tangible. Like I said, the parts of your brains you have to flex to do the actions in the game are the feeling, the vibe of your game that your players are going to receive whenever they're playing it. So this game, Halo, what do they call it? What do they call it? It's CE again. Halo Combat. Now I can't even remember what they decided to call it. It's just 2 seconds. It's just like a couple minutes ago. But yeah. No, it's not coming to mind. I'll have to wait till you tell me, till you remind me. But if you remember, but the point is that it's not going to quite feel exactly like Combat Evolved because of that. It's a major gameplay element, and it's going to feel more like Halo 2. It is good to hear the concept put into words. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, this is something that, because it is literally the vibe of the game, and everyone has always been able to just like feel the vibe of the game and tell this game feels like that when this one feels different, and it's just like everyone's caught on to this. Everyone knows this. It's our brains. It's all our brains. I figured out how to put words to it, and that's like what you're saying. It's good to hear concept put into words. I have been trying to figure out how to put the feel for games into words since I was like 15, trying to have arguments with my older sister about the feel of Final Fantasy and the feel of Zelda, and why I didn't especially like the feel of Final Fantasy. I like Final Fantasy 2, I played that one all the way through, and I played 10 all the way through. I've enjoyed them, but they're not my favorite games because of the vibe, the feel of it. Another reason why I love Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2, and I did not like Jade Empire. Something about Jade Empire, the feel was wrong. Even though it was graphically gorgeous and like it had a cool concept to its combat, it just didn't feel right to me. And I was trying to explain why all the way back then, and I finally figured it out. Like whenever I was first streaming, I talked about this a little bit, or like a year or two ago. Not when I first started streaming, but like right before I guess I ended, I was talking about this a little bit because I'd figured it out. And I've been wanting to make YouTube videos explaining it, and the only reason that's really holding me back is because of how busy I've been, how I haven't been able to set up my stuff, and then that it's not imposter syndrome so much as an objective reality that I don't have anything in my resume that would convince anyone to listen to me explain this. Right, vibe is such an undefined word, but a word that everyone chases the feeling of. Exactly. We all know vibe. We all know what it means as humans. After you explain, it's like the vibe is this feeling you get, that feeling you get whenever this, that's the vibe. That feeling is what I'm trying to define, as opposed to telling people what it is, like pointing to it and letting you just feel what it is. And so this way of categorizing it into these strategy, tactics, and operations, I think finally, like, gave me the ability to finally put it into words and explain it, and really, draw it out. And one of the biggest things, I know why sprint sucks in Halo. Because of this, I know exactly why sprint ruined Halo for Halo 4 and 5, and why it works in Halo Infinite. And I could explain it and rant about it, but because everyone has made a rant about sprint and how and why, it's hard to convince anyone that my reasons why it sucks is objective rather than subjective. I have an objective way of describing it, and it's not that it sucks on its own, it's that it sucks for not fitting in to the formula around it. Like, sprinting in first-person shooters, I do not think sucks. That's a fantastic mechanic. Sprinting in Halo causes the map to get bigger. Right, it's not any one specific thing. I think it's an amalgamation of parts mixed to make one whole. Exactly. It makes one entire vibe, and I've just figured out how to describe it. And now that I know how to describe it, I could give specific examples of why, like I was saying just about sprint, why it should be in the game, why it shouldn't, because of how it fits in with the rest. And it would be, in my opinion, in game design, iteration is king, as they say, but my philosophy would fit in between the moments of iteration to analyze what is working and what's not. Whenever you add something, you go, why isn't this working? I can tell you why. I can actually verbalize it. And I would, like I said, it's an objective reality that I don't have anything on my resume that would convince anyone to think it, other than my years of experience in QA, which is not a lot. It's not even as much as it's like a third of how much time I spent in, in repairing appliances. But I might turn this down lower because I'm in the middle of talking. But like, just because this is probably just going to be about the actual championship. So like, yeah. So basically, like, okay, I'll explain I'll use sprint as another example so I can explain how this actually does work. The way that they're describing it. Halo is about operational movement on a map, right? There are weapons on the map. There's obviously the objective on the map of where the enemies are located. Every first-person shooter has that. It's got a lot of objective modes, though, like capture the flag and stuff like that. Battlefield is more capture the flag, or rather more like territories. So there are other games that have that as well, but Halo's focus on having it to where you can pick which game type it is makes it to where all of these are available, which means the mechanics have to suit all of them. And the way that the game actually plays also has to be suitable for sprint. So, how does the game function? Well, there are weapons on the map scattered around, and you go and you pick them up. Power weapons. There's also power locations. Every first-person shooter has those. But usually, maps try to be designed to have fewer power points, except for like maybe one central location, or if it's like a 3-lane structure, maybe a lane, a important location on each lane that's like sort of a power location. For like Call of Duty or Battlefield, they tend to do that. Halo has a lot of like focuses a lot on these power points, where like if you go like power locations points, not like a power point, like a score point, but like if you were to get a sniper rifle and you go to this location on the map, now you're a god. If you get a rocket launcher and you go up this gravity lift, now you can shoot down at the ground, so anyone at the top of that gravity lift, you're going to blow up the ground there under their feet, which splash damage will kill them, so now you're a god. Anytime you utilize these specific mechanics in the map, you become more powerful. And those power points in Halo maps are extremely important, that other games try to balance their map instead. Instead of intentionally creating power points in their balancing, they go out of the way to try and balance everything, so every encounter is a balanced encounter. And why do they do that? That's because in Call of Duty, you start, for example, or Battlefield, you start with your weapon. You pick the weapon you want to start with in the main menu, a strategic decision of what you're going to deploy to the map. Like how you're going to engage with the enemy is a strategic decision there, instead of an operational one or a tactical one. But in Halo, you find your weapons on the map, and that is with operational choices. You spread out to the map, you find the weapon that is best for you, and then you use it, or you get a power weapon, whatever your favorite weapon is for regular weapons, and then your power weapons. And because you have to walk across the map operationally, if you change the flow and you change the scale, you change how that interacts. So, what does that mean? That means that if you add sprint, now you're getting to the weapons faster, but only if you use sprint. So if you have sprint in Halo Reach as a choice, it's kind of a strategic choice. Every time you die and you respawn and you pick your loadout, you're now making a strategic choice of how you're going to be able to engage with the enemy, like what objective you're going to do. It's almost operational choice in the main menu there, but I would argue that it's sort of halfway between the two and leans maybe a little more into strategy, because it changes how you're going to slay the enemy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to slay the enemy with explosives. I'm going to slay the enemy, like, in other words, if you pick the shotgun, I'm going to do close range combat to slay the enemies. If you pick the DMR, I'm going to engage with longer range combat to slay the enemies. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to do, in other words, my strategy is long range killing. Like, you don't, in war, if you deploy a sniper rifle versus a tank, you know what you've done. These are two different strategies. They're not just operations of actually doing the deployment. They are the decision, right? So that's a strategic decision. I just went off on a tangent, didn't I? I forgot what I was saying before. Sprint, right? So they added sprint in as a choice you make whenever you respawn, and then you can run around and grab the weapons on the map. If you can do that faster as an option, that's fine. In Halo Reach, it was contentious, but it still worked as a Halo game because everyone else was not using sprint. But if you're trying to get the power weapons, then you picked sprint. So a lot of the times everyone picks sprint the first life immediately, so they can sprint to the power weapons whenever they're on the map. And then you have to like wait, and whenever they're about to respawn, the next time you die, you pick sprint again. Or if you think you're going to survive long enough to where you will still be alive whenever they respawn, you better have sprint. So everyone was picking sprint all the time. It didn't help that it was also the first one in the list, and that was why it messed things up. But Halo 4 added it permanently, and then they addressed that by making the maps bigger. Halo Reach, by the way, they made bigger maps because of Invasion and because they had the ability, they wanted to, do stuff like that. So they ended up having bigger maps too. And they were also pulled from campaign, and campaign maps also are generally bigger. So because they had sprint, they did make them a little larger, and it made sense. It kind of worked. Halo 4, they had to make them especially large. And that's why whenever people remade, the Halo 4 maps for Halo Infinite, it still worked. But whenever they remade the Halo 1 through 3 and even Reach maps, they were all saying, hey, if you're going to remake one of those, don't do it completely one-to-one, scale it up a little bit. And of course, I knew that Waterworks was oversized for Halo 2 already, was way too big for Halo 2 already, so I did it 1-to-1 knowing that it would probably fit. I didn't feel like I needed to scale that one up, and it did fit pretty much perfectly in Halo Infinite's scale of like movement and stuff. The point is that once you make it bigger, you make the weapons farther apart. There's a timer to whenever weapons that are dropped on the battlefield despawn. There's also a timer for how long it takes for you to respawn after you die. In Halo 4, you never pick up the weapon you dropped. You will not go back to your dead body and pick it back up. So if you self-destruct on somebody and you both die, and it's like a sprint back to where you were because you had the rocket launcher, like you self-destruct with a rocket launcher, and you run back to where you died, you are not going to find it, and almost ever. And that's because the level is so much bigger. The despawn timer was the same as previous Halo games, instead of being increased. And your respawn timer in Halo 4, I forget what it was, but there's something that made it longer, or maybe Halo Reach had made it longer and they just kept that. It was something like you could go up to like 10 seconds for a respawn timer sometimes. It was insane. Especially if you, oh, that's what it was. It was also if you self-destructed, you would get, that word triggers on YouTube, so I can't use the original terminology. And so if you self-destruct and you respawn, you have that ability to get back to it in previous Halo games, but then it adds, because it adds a timer, but the level was smaller, and so you could still get back to it. And the important thing is that like that means respawn points were closer. It's not just that you could move faster because you can sprint, therefore you should be able to get back to it. The respawn points were also closer to where you died. And it's just like the flow of combat was so much different. And then on top of that, they used the established Call of Duty sprint style of when you're sprinting, you can't attack, you can't shoot. So now I have to sprint to get across the map to get to the power weapon. While I'm sprinting, I cannot engage tactically for half a second, right? So if an enemy is not sprinting and they happen to be between me and there, I now have a significant disadvantage. So I need to sprint to get to the power weapons, or I can walk and be ready. If I am walking and I'm ready, then I'm not going to get to the weapon before the enemy, which meant that the entire flow of combat in Halo 4 was completely shifted. And the reason that felt weird, obviously that feels completely different from classic Halo, so classic fans are not going to like it. But the reason that it didn't overshadow Call of Duty is because the focus of running to a position and then switching to shooting works way better in a game that's one-hit kill like Call of Duty. When you have energy shields in Halo, the kill to death, timer, like the number of hits it takes to kill them, is so much more. Now I am anticipating for like a second or two or three of slowly getting killed because I happen to be sprinting whenever this engagement started. And I know I'm gonna die because I cannot possibly react fast enough with them already beaming at me, right? In combat. So now I'm gonna die, and whenever I die, it's gonna feel like really crappy. And so the tactical engagement is now messed up. I'm focusing on operational like movement, and now I'm having to weigh if I can even engage tactically, and all of that just throws it all off. I don't know if that rant was enough to explain how anything about sprint with that. I don't even know if you're still here. Just checking. But yeah, it's just like, and then Halo Infinite, I feel, fixed that, because you could break sprint by pulling the trigger and you would instantly shoot, or melee. And because of that, it fixed it, and Halo Infinite felt like Halo again, even though there might have been things that other things people didn't like about it. It still felt more like Halo again. And yeah, it's just I hope that they don't get too much into the weeds of changes for this game, but it looks like they are. It looks like they are gonna. Yes, still here and listening. Awesome. Cool. Just want to make sure. Just wanted to check in. So, like, basically, the flow and the feel of the game in the 30 seconds of fun, right? The 30 seconds of fun, which the full quote, the quote that everyone knows is the 30 seconds of fun. If you nail the 30 seconds of fun, you can repeat that pretty much infinitely. But the actual internal philosophy of the team was it's 30 seconds of fun with 3 minute intervals, where we'll throw something new at you every 3 minutes, like a new dropship comes in with drops off enemies, and then you have 30 seconds of fun repeating in that window, and then a new thing we throw at you, just keep it fresh. It's not like we're going to repeat the exact same thing over and over again. Going back and forth between watching and scripting. Oh, nice. Oh, are you programming right now in Unreal Engine? That's awesome. Or are you scripting in Forge? No, never mind. That's probably what you're doing. But yeah, either way, that's really cool. So that's basically the 30 seconds of fun window is whenever you're getting that balance. Like, I think that it's almost like a heartbeat with your mental state, that they're right about there's an amount of actions that happen, and it's probably based on Halo Infinite Forge. Yeah, gotcha. Like, if you like how quickly the brain processes information, when it moves it into long-term memory versus short-term memory, you know, like RAM versus, you know, ROM, and how that pattern happens. I don't know exactly what it is, but that's where I think that 30 seconds of fun, 3 minutes of before we throw something new at you, philosophy comes in to game design. That is where I bet if I knew the exact rhythm of memory, which I could probably look up, they probably know, then that's probably where it falls. And it's probably that each person has a slightly different variation of that, but the average is probably around 30 seconds of fun. That's why they found that. That's how they figured that out. Is that they felt it, you know what I mean? They felt the vibe, and when it needs to change, when it needs to restart, when it needs to do this kind of stuff. And Halo 4 Sprint you have a respawn timer that could be like 10 seconds, right? You take like 5 to 10 seconds to run across a battlefield, which means you only have like 10 seconds to do like an engagement, or like an actual encounter. You every now and then stop to pick up a weapon before you move on, so that adds time to your time moving across the battlefield. So in a way, you're waiting for like 10 seconds, then you respawn, you're doing operations, and then you do tactics. And then you die, or you go back to doing operations again to find another tactical encounter. In classic Halo, your operations are happening kind of at the same time as your tactics. And that is because you can, and in Halo Infinite as well, because you can shoot out of sprint in Halo Infinite, and because you can't sprint in previous Halo games, you are constantly able to immediately engage in tactics when the tactics arrive. So you are, you're going operations, tactics really quickly, as opposed to having to wait this weird buffer period of stopping your sprint to do it. And that, it's like a second respawn. And it's like a second respawn timer waiting for that time to happen. And it draws it out in a way that's less, like, not as good. You know what I mean? It's like, instead of it being a blended experience of operations and tactics, it feels like separate experiences of operations and tactics. So your brain doesn't quickly shift from one to the other. It tries to, but it can't flex the muscles of tactics yet. It's told to wait. And now you can flex the muscles, right? Because you've stopped sprinting. And that's making it to where instead of it's like if you're trying to lift something heavy, right? And you're not allowed to flex your forearm muscles and your bicep muscles at the same time, right? Or your you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's like, yeah, I had a brain fart there. Basically, you're trying to lift something and you're not. It's like QWOP or whatever it's called. That game where you have to use the buttons to control every part of the legs of the character. You're having the operational part of your muscles separated out from the tactical ones, so much so that it's like having to go like, okay, now I lift this, then I do this, then I do that, and it's like robotic movements. And I think that's why it feels wrong whenever they have it in there. And Halo 5 did smooth that out a lot, because you could sprint, you could dash, so you could be sprinting and then you could dash to the side, and that canceled that sort of loading time at the end. What I say makes sense? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it's like, because you could thruster in Halo 5 by default, you could cancel. It's like in fighting games, they have like the what am I thinking of specifically? Which game? It might be Super Smash Brothers. It's something where you cancel. There's like a air cancel or something like that, where like you can cancel one of your moves before finishing it so that you can be quicker into the next one. I forget exactly which game I'm thinking of. I think it's Super Smash Brothers though, like maybe Melee. And hello. And basically that's what I'm thinking, is that like you can do that, like cancel. My daughter's over there, that's why I was waving at. What was I saying? I was saying you could cancel out there, and it allows you to sort of just immediately move on to the next one. Well, the thruster in Halo 5 gave you that. It felt better to people than Halo 4, I think, because it eliminated that cooldown at the end, because you could thruster to the, you could be sprinting and then thruster to the left, or thrust forward, or thrust backward, and then engage the enemy. And so then you could jump up and you could hover as well, which was like, it was altering how, before you fall to the ground, like how you engage with the, like operationally with the physics of the game, because you're not going to immediately fall. But like that's just, that one was kind of more of a neutral change, like just an addition. But I think that the thruster cured the problem with sprint in one way, but it's not a way that classic Halo fans really wanted it to. And that's why I think Halo 5 was really popular, especially with people who are not as into the older Halo games, or like them but like Halo 5 more, right? And maybe the people who liked Halo 5 but don't like Halo Infinite is because they like that canceling out. In Halo Infinite, you have sprinting and then you power slide, and you can still shoot while you're power sliding, which means you can cancel your sprint with that, but also you can cancel your sprint by just starting to shoot or throwing a grenade or meleeing. I personally feel that they should have made it to where if you sprint at someone immediately, then you deal a little bit more damage, or if not more damage, you actually create a knockback where you can push them back with the melee attack. But I think that might be better than dealing additional damage, actually, because it'd be kind of interesting to be able to force a small amount of movement on your enemy. Like if you could sprint and jump off a ledge, and it still counts you as sprinting, and like land on an enemy and melee them and knock them off this like catwalk into the abyss, or just off onto a less advantageous position, that I think would be a good addition to Halo Infinite and that style of gameplay with the power sliding and the sprinting, where sprint kind of unlocks new abilities like power slide and is it just power slide? For some reason I thought there was a second one. Anyway, yeah, it's like while you're sprinting, you can do this other thing. And so, like game mechanic wise, operationally, strategically, and tactically, you can actually like take every mechanic of a game and like sort of like go into Excel, and like each one of them, it's like we are doing healing in an operational way, so add 1 to the operational value of the game, and then you could draw a graph, right, and actually show the graph of what each game sort of like what muscles are going to flex in your brain, and so how it works, right? And if you do that and you start comparing games to each other, you'll probably be able to tell, yeah, that game feels like this game feels like that, you know what I mean? Like it'll give you an image of the feel and the vibe of these games, of how it feels to play them. And what I've always pointed out of why I feel this way is like one of the things that was like instrumental in me figuring this out in the first place was comparing the feeling of Halo to the feeling of StarCraft, is because they're both sci-fi, so yeah, they have that thing that makes them kind of like each other already, but more importantly, it also feels like Warcraft. So Halo's balance is very similar to Warcraft and StarCraft's balance, and not the same, it's still different, but when you play them, it flexes the same areas of your brain, almost the same, so that it feels very similar, even though they're completely radically different games. Like Halo Wars also flexes almost all the same as Halo, and notice to design it, they made it play a lot like StarCraft, Warcraft style of RTS, with the exception of how buildings are built, right? The base building aspect is different, but the actual like the units feel like it. They kind of like the way they move around. They focus on things like bunkers and like, you know, deploying vehicles, and you know, yeah, it's a lot like Command and Conquer, but Command and Conquer is also similar to StarCraft. So like the point is that they met that RTS style because it felt to them like a Halo RTS while they were designing it, and so they kept that, right? They focused in on that kind of vibe. And if you do the same, and like, yeah, so it's not even that the values are the same either. I think it's about the pattern. So like there might be more strategic actions, tactical actions, and operational actions that you have to do every second in StarCraft, right? your 30 seconds of fun may be more full of actions you have to take in StarCraft versus Halo, but the pattern is similar, almost the same, and so it feels like you're still doing it. You're just doing it harder in StarCraft because you've got more thoughts you have to make, right? So it's almost like lifting a heavier weight, but it's not by much, it's just a little bit. And so it's like, yeah, I don't know, it feels very, very similar. And I've just always kind of, that was the linchpin of whenever I figured out the strategy, tactics, and operations, and whenever I finally read something about U.S. military doctrine that was like, I've also, like when I was a kid talking to my older sister, like a teenager talking to my older sister about this, she would not accept the idea that tactics and strategy were different things. She was like, they're synonyms, William. What are you talking about? They're not the same. They're not different things. They're synonyms. And I'm like, no, they are fundamentally different. These costumes are really badass, by the way, these people are doing on stage here. I don't know if you're watching as well or if you're just listening, but there's like, people have got these great Spartan costumes. It's a cosplay contest. So anyway, yeah, so I was trying to explain to her that tactics and strategy were different things to begin with, and she could have easily understood that. She was refusing to accept this, and I kept on having to like, yeah, they're synonyms, I understand that. They're also not the same word, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, you're watching something sometimes, yeah, I figured. So like, basically, if you so I knew about that. I had figured that out as a teenager. Strategy and tactics were different things, and I didn't realize that it was related to the feel of the game yet back then, but I knew that those two things were different things, and I was trying to explain that to her. And then eventually I was like, why can't I explain to her where the dividing line is? I keep on telling her that there's a difference and trying to show where the dividing line was. And what finally clicked was when I read some U.S. military doctrine, like I was saying, and they defined a third, column, and that was operations. And I was like, oh my god, that's why I couldn't find the dividing line. I was trying to draw the dividing line in the middle of operations instead of having tactics and strategy as, instead of being like, accepting that, instead of knowing that there was a third one, I was trying to draw the line right in the middle of operations, and that's why I couldn't find the line, is because there wasn't one there. And so, so it was like, eventually I figured that out, and I read a paper from the U.S. military. I don't even remember how I found it. I was like an ADHD deep dive on some other nonsense. I really don't even remember how I found this document. And then I found, but I did, and they listed operations, and then I went and looked into it to try and see if everyone already knew this or no, I was dumb, and found out that no, the U.S. military is the only military in the world, I think other than maybe the UN, that uses this third third word, and that everyone else still uses older philosophies on strategy and tactics being the only two, and that people who critique them are like, no, this is obviously true. At least it was back then. Whenever, I'm sure other militaries have caught on by now, but what the heck, it rang once and then just, I think that's a bot. They have these spam calls that will try to call you and ping to see if your phone actually exists before they call you with their actual AI bot to try and like scam you. And so that was probably that. They'll just, as long as it rings once and then their computer hangs up on their end, and then they don't call you, and then they call you later to scam you. So that means a scam call is probably coming in the next like hour or two. But yeah, the point is, so yeah, once I realized there was 3 columns, and other militaries were talking about how that's probably true and that they need to adopt this thing at the time. But again, this was like 10 years ago or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And they probably have adopted them now and thoroughly, incorporated it. But yeah, the point is that figuring that out is what made me realize the other thing. And then I realized that it applied to game design, and now I've realized it probably involves the human psyche and how we interact with reality, which means it's going to apply to every sentient creature in our universe is going to have these 3 things that their brain evolves to do. And so this is going to be a universal philosophy for other like alien species we find out there and stuff like that, that will apply to them as well. It it applies to animals, for example. Their brains are also engaging with reality strategically, tactically, and operationally. It's just really cool to realize all that. And then there's one more thing that I was thinking about this, actually, just to tack this on to the end, is that I suspect, but do not know, and this is a new thought I have had in the last year, that ADHD people our minds are more geared toward tactical engagements. We get distracted by squirrels, get overly engaged in tasks in ways that are like, I need to complete this tactical engagement, whenever we're doing something, I'm gonna build a house or something, I need to tactically engage with this hammer with this nail, I need to put this wood up, I need to cut this wood to the right length, and we'll get engaged with a task so heavily because our brains are more geared toward tactical engagements. And I believe I have ADHD. I still haven't gotten diagnosed, by the way. Right, hard set rules of the universe, logic based, exactly. And if that's true, then maybe the others as well, let's say OCD and autism, right? So you got ADHD people might be tactically minded. We go over to obsessive compulsive disorder. That is, if I'm so locked in on the outcome, right, of what's going to happen, my brain is so much stronger in that, and so locked into the idea of the objective of what we're trying to achieve, right? Then it doesn't matter if what I think is how to achieve that objective is true. I'm just locked into doing it over and over and over again until I get it. So OCD could be something like, oh, I need to do this thing that is irrational, isn't related to what I think the outcome is, so that the outcome will happen. I need to touch every single, this is an example from the TV show Monk, which is a show where he has multiple disorders, not just OCD, but they play it off as all OCD. But one thing that he does do that's sort of OCD is that he has to touch every single parking meter as he walks down the street, or else he feels like he's not going to get where he's going, or something like that. To get where he's going, to do the operational thing, he has to do these weird tactical things. I'm in the middle of streaming, buddy. How's it going, though? So basically, you can sit and watch this if you want to. You saw that show? Yeah. So it's the operation of getting where he's trying to go is what he's trying to do, and he thinks he needs to do something to make it happen. So he's touching he's doing something, a ritual, that is not an actual tactical engagement. There's nothing stopping him from getting where he's going involving those parking meters. So it's not tactical. He's not acquiring anything or using any resources or anything. Yes, those guys are cosplaying as Spartans. It's a cosplay contest. I actually didn't see who won. I was a little interested in that, but I was talking over it. So there's literally no tactical or strategic thing that makes him need to touch these things. But he thinks that he needs to do something to accomplish his operation. So he's going strategically. He thinks there's a strategic thing he needs to do to achieve this. And like I was saying earlier, how if you did a strategic healing in a video game, you would set a moment in the game's gameplay where someone would heal someone, and you'd have to set it ahead of time, and then when that moment comes up, it would heal. So it could be a moment in time, or it could be programming Donald Duck to heal you at 30% health in Kingdom Hearts. Well, if you're strategically thinking about how to get to your objective without thinking tactically or operationally at the time, I can't follow you. I'm in the middle of streaming. I'm talking to people right now, buddy. Then basically, you might be trying to think of what is a thing that I can do to get there, and you're thinking in terms of there are waypoints, right? So there's something that needs to be done, but it's not about what needs to be done, buddy. It's not about what needs to be done, it's about that something needs to be done, right? So then weird, illogical things, like touching each of these things, it's like a waypoint along the way, right? That this is, all I have to do is do something. I'm not thinking about the strategy or the operation, or the tactics or the operation. I'm only thinking about the strategy, that I have to do something along the way. So you touch each and every one of the things. And then autistic, let's see. Hello, mate. I love your stream, which is why I followed. I would like to be friends and fan. mind adding me on Discord. My username is Rocky60. That's pretty cool. I actually do have a Discord. Do I have a link on Twitch to my Discord? That's a good question. I have a link in the YouTube video description, so if you hop over to YouTube, you can find it there for sure. I think I have a link on my Discord, or my Twitch, that goes straight into my actual Discord, like my group Discord. So if you want to join in there, then it'll be really easy for us to right-click the name and hit friend. Or hit later, buddy. Just a minute. It's okay. So, what's up? What? Later means at a different time. It's not specific. I'll be done on my stream soon, I think, because I do need to get you guys back on your schoolwork. So, but yes. So, let's see. It was great listening to you, but I gotta go. I might be back later if you're still streaming. Okay, well, I might have to go too. I might just finish up the thought, even if you do leave at the time. But basically, autism might be in the same line. It might be that they are locked into operation and not as good at strategy or tactics. And I think that each of these can lean toward one, but is less toward the other, almost like rock, paper, scissors, where one can beat the one, but is beaten by the other, kind of thing. And that, so like, autism might be that your brain is locked into doing operational thinking, which is accumulating and maintaining resources, relocating, that sort of thing. I noticed that, like for example, a lot of people who have, it's hard to explain, but like accumulation of like masking as with autism. Masking with autism is about learning correct ways to behave, accumulating those, triggering those later. It's like observing the right way to behave and then building your mask out of them. And then now you've got your resources set up right so that you can engage with those resources later. There's also a thing about, they call like the spoons, where like whenever you have autism, you run out of spoons. That's like your brain has like a number of resources of like how much it can engage with other people. And I feel like that like everyone has all of these, but these mental sort of disorders are locking into them.
When are gonna be done?
Soon. So these mental disorders are locking into. It means later, but not very far away. Very close. Okay. So basically, you if you have heavy operational thinking, yeah, you'll be about resources, about accumulating things. And I've noticed that that about behavior and the mental the sort of like the symptoms of the mental disorders seem to line up with these. And I think that that's the direction that sort of they lean. Like people who are autistic can lean ADHD and can sort of understand ADHD and sort of, more importantly about tactical. They can lean tactically. So people who have autism struggle more with strategic thinking because they're not as good at knowing where they want to go. Like for example, in life, like what do I want? Well, they have to learn what other people think they want, that they should want, and then they sort of pick from those things like a pool, which is like engaging with strategy as if it's operational, like you're accumulating things, which is not how strategy is supposed to work. You're supposed to be able to come up with your own idea. But they can excel in tactics by leaning into tactics. They can engage with things and really go hard on a tactical engagement with like a problem that arises, right? But like whenever someone who's OCD comes up to a tactical engagement, they lock up, they freak out, like kind of thing, like lockdown, almost like ostrich head in the ground kind of thing. But they can lean really operationally. People who are OCD can really do really well with accumulation of resources, maneuvering things, including like knowledge and stuff like that. So you'll have a lot of, there's all that. Whereas I think that the failing of ADHD, which is like me, for example, is that coming up with a strategy. Yeah, we can come up with a strategy, but how can we never adhere to it? You know what I mean? Like I have a plan of, I could for a second try really hard to come up with a sequence of events that I should do for a plan of how I should achieve a certain goal. But my description of those plans is not going to be good. I'm gonna have to learn how to like keep a schedule and stuff like that, where these operational thoughts are, where like, yeah, I can think of where I want to go in life. I can know where I want to be, and I can, if there are things that come up, like a test in school, or just, you know, or like a challenge at work or whatever, I can engage with that challenge and get it done really well. I can even hyper focus on it and get it done faster or better than some people who have this more experience than me. Like, as good as someone who has more experience than me, I should be on a lower level, but I'm not, and it's slightly impressive. But then as soon as I try to think like about a strategy of where I want to be in life, accumulating the resources necessary to get there, I'm bad at. And getting there on time, I'm bad at. Time is an operational thinking type of thing. Being on time, getting to my destination, knowing when I need to leave, getting ready before I go somewhere on time, getting my stream set up can take me months, whenever I should be able to just stop, I should just know what I need to do to get it done. But I don't until finally I'm forced into it, and I have to like sort of cram to solve the problem, like a test that you do right before the day before. And I think everybody has a leaning, and so everybody is one of these. I don't think that there are neurotypical. I don't believe in that. I believe that there is neurally central, where like you can sort of like align yourself into the central, or maybe your brain itself does it on its own, and you don't have any say in it. It could be like a nature thing versus a nurture, but you can try to align yourself to the center actively, and you can achieve that for short durations of time. But as soon as you relax, you'll relax into the one that you are, leaning toward naturally. So I think it's a little bit, you can do some nurture, but it's mostly nature that sort of creates this leaning, and then different people lean into them more or less. And so anyway, that's my thinking on it. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's a little tack on at the very end of the whole philosophy for game design and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm done. The stream's over. I can probably I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later, but I can't stream very well right now, and I'm not very well set up, and I can't stream for very long because my kids have to do their schoolwork throughout the day, and my wife's work could have audio play over here, and it's confidential information, so not allowed to do that. Anyway, so that's it. I'll catch you guys next time. But yeah. Let's see, where's the stream? I forgot how to end it because I haven't streamed in over a year. There we go, stop streaming.